Why come I can't hear anything? I don't know if y'all can hear music. There's supposed to be some. I'm live. I can't hear anything. Maybe my sound is out. This is horrible. When you have audio connections right when you go live. Let's figure this out, folks. Anyway, if you can hear me, glad you're here. Glad to be here. And fuck you, technology. Welcome. Open panel. All right, I think I have this speaker stuff working. Happy Saturday, Daniel Barry. Good to see you. I hope everyone can hear me. Let me figure out these settings. There we go. Okay, I hear it now. Yep. Let's go. Nothing in the news. Ukraine aid passed, or at least the House. House passes 95 billion Ukraine Israel aid package, sends it to the Senate. And that's really the only headline that catches my attention right now. I don't really have a lot to comment on it about. So let's check Twitter. And let's check YouTube, because I want to see who else is streaming. Machine, I think, is doing his thing. What's Provo doing? Oh, Provo actually has people on. Yeah, Machine is on tonight. On Black Nazi Grifters. That's really it. So hopefully people trickle in and we have a good little night. I like doing these evening streams. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I had that topic website I was getting questions from to fill in until actual humans and trolls show up. It was the one about TV shows. It says, which TV show do you want your life to be like? I would used to say something like Survivor. I've always wanted to live in the wilderness and like with like a little tribe of people and stuff, or like The Beach, that movie The Beach. But now I'm not sure. Is there a TV show? Because I don't really know modern TV at all. Is there a TV show about streamers, like people that YouTube streaming and stuff? Because maybe that one. I really do want to do this as much as I can full time. Whatever this thing is, I want to find a way to make a life out of it. And so if it's what I want my life to be like, if there's a TV show about that, because I'm trying to even think. I left the real world in 2020 when we went on lockdown, and I really didn't have much of a real world life even then. I had a few friends, a board gaming group that we met every couple of weeks, a job that I got fired from, with coworkers that I thought I was close with. So I had like a small little real life, but not. It wasn't every day, like hanging out every day or anything like that. So it was pretty much go to work and come home. And I had my roommate, and we were good friends. And so I had a very restricted social life. And then when lockdown happened and Zoom and Discord and podcasts and all that, my social life just exploded. And all of a sudden I had hundreds of people I was talking to and from all over the world and everything. And I'm not sure if it's my intention to go back to what I had before. Do I want any kind of in-person community? Or do I need one? Or is this a viable lifestyle or a valid life? Like getting my social needs met remotely. And then when I went to Louisiana, and that was like the first time in years and years that I'd hung out in person with that amount of people for that amount of time. And that was the first taste of like the world I had left behind. And it showed me that yes, I do want that balance. I do want an in-person component, like community as well. There's just something I need both. I need to be able to step away from the internet and enter into a real world society and make real world connections. But then I want to have this internet to come into when I need it, because I'm not going to find all of the people I found on the internet in one location, whether it be a small city like I'm in now, a large city. I was in Seattle for like 12 years. I didn't find all these people. So it still gives me access to a range that I'm not going to find in any one in-person community. But I feel more balanced when I have both, and I want to try to get both. So if there's a TV show that reflects all that, that would be my answer. How have TV shows changed over the years besides the wokeness? And some of this is just, I think, age, because I just see more of the pattern. I have more patterns to work off of, but they just seem more predictable and trite, hackneyed, cliched. Like I can see the plot coming before it comes. I can see the setups. I can see the jokes. I can see the ending before it comes, etc. But the streaming services, I think, do. I don't know what it depends on, the budget, the production, the creativity of the writers and creator, etc. But the streaming services maybe seem to have better teams that produce a little slightly higher quality stuff. But I really don't know. I haven't watched network primetime comedy in forever. But Chris and I watched on Apple TV. They had a little mystery series that was kind of a comedy called After Party, and that's where it's like the concept of the Mind movie. Each season it's a mystery. It's really light comedy. So there's a mystery, a murder, and there's a group of suspects, and each episode they interview one of the suspects, and so you're getting the same story from each person's point of view. Each episode, a different person, but they cast it as a movie. So when they're talking to you, have the like actual plot, the story arc of the series, but when they interview each individual suspect, each one has their own version of the events, and they're presented as mind movies. And so, like one person, it'll be a action film, another person might be a comedy, a sitcom, or something. So as they're telling their stories, the genre that you're watching changes into whatever their mind movie is, and it shows how different people's inner worlds are from each other. We all have our own style and twist and spin we put on it, and this movie kind of helps to bring that out in a way. And so that was a pretty good recent comedy. I'd say, okay, yes, they did get tried and predictable and hackneyed and all that, but the areas where they did not, the areas where they did improve, they improved very well. I still think there are TV shows that do comedy well, that the jokes are fresh, they land in like surprising new ways. They find ways to either bring in new, like contemporary material, or reuse old material in new ways to do comedy. So I think comedy's still there. The ability of comedians to make other people laugh, and the ability to laugh, to want to laugh, and to have content out there that can still make us laugh. Hey, Chuck, Yo yo. I got your message. I looked my I didn't see anything myself, so just let me know and I had to put one of my streams private today because there was rumors of some drawers, some some panties, some underwear showing. So I have to go see what that's all about and check it. So if you're looking for a recent stream that's not up, it's temporary. I'm gonna see what this is about and go clip it out if it's in there. Um, what was I doing? Oh, I was answering questions and looking at Twitter. What do you think about game shows? Do you have a favorite one? Yeah, well, growing up, oh my God, the 70s. If you didn't grow up with The Price is Right, and watching The Price is Right today as an adult is not the same as growing up with The Price is Right. That was an experience. I don't know how to really explain it because it was kind of, you didn't know anything different. That was normal as a kid, but it was me and my sister, and my mom worked. And so we had our black mamas, as they would call themselves, that took care of us during the day. And we got really close. They were like I liked it more than my white mama sometimes. And there were two main ones, and then we had like a few backup ones we needed. So one or the other would come to the house that day, and they all watched The Price is Right, and they watched the soap operas, which I never did. They put me to sleep. They were so bored. But The Price is Right in the morning. It lasted like, I don't know, an hour and a half. But it was long, or at least for a kid, it seemed long. So it took up a big chunk of time. And we would all sit in front of the TV, and they taught us how to latch hook, like make rugs with the little pieces of yarn. And so we had these latch hook kits, and we would sit there with our latch hook, and we would watch The Price is Right and latch hook and laugh and cut up and make jokes and talk about the people and try to guess the games. It was like just a bonding experience of me and my sister and whoever was taking care of us that day, sitting around the TV during Price is Right. It was, I think it was an hour, like Power Hour or something, and latch hooking and laughing. Like that was just life at its best as a kid. And so that's the game show. That set a standard not only for game shows but for the game show experience. It wasn't just like turn on the TV and watch a game show. It was a whole like community ritual almost. And I didn't really watch a lot of game shows as an adult. They had some in syndication that I liked, like that one where they had a, they had like three people, and they had all some kind of interesting exotic career or some fact about them, and only one of them was the real person, and they had two that were imposters, and they had celebrities that were on, and they had to question them and try to figure out who was the real person. I liked that game a lot. And but I really wasn't into games or even TV really until Survivor. Oh my God, that restarted. I am a reality game junkie because of the social dynamics and the politics and the Machiavellianism and the intrigue and the drama and all of that. I was a MTV kid, like the real world. I remember when the real world came out in like May of '92, I believe. And I had none of us had ever seen anything like it on TV. It was like ordinary people like ourselves. I was about their age. This is the one in New York, this first season. And it was like people like us, but on TV, living out their lives, kind of like we're doing on the stream now. And it it was a new. We had never seen anything like that on TV before, and it was fascinating. And so, yeah, to tell the truth, that's it. I love that show. They had the old version with, I think, Kitty Carlisle. I don't know if she was the host or if she was just always on, but she was something else. She would show up in like ball gowns with velvet gloves. I think she had her little mask or opera glasses sometimes. That her hairdo was done like Queen Elizabeth. All she was missing was a tiara. I remember her vividly. And then they had like a modern version for the '80s, like a reboot that I would watch. And So the real world had a big impact on my generation, and it got me into watching people kind of share their lives on TV. And so Survivor was like that plus the game element. And the real world had all the drama, but Survivor added like an intellectual component where I could there was strategy to it's like chess or a board game, which I love. So it was like board game slash watching people and the drama that develops from just people sharing spaces together. And plus I love the outdoors, hiking, nature, and I would just love to go live on an island for a while and rough it. And so all of that just combines in Survivor. And then you had Big Brother, which is kind of the same thing but in a house together like the real world. And then The Mole was my favorite. That was more like a detective version, but that one didn't last very long. They found it too the rumor at the time was it was too a little too intellectual for Americans. They needed something more simple. They couldn't keep up with the complexity of The Mole, which to me wasn't that complex. Um, and they did do a few reboots, which sucked. But if you do like The Mole, they have the Dutch Mole. The Netherlands do The Mole better than any other country, I think. And it's they put a lot of production into it, and the Netherlands uses like minor celebrities, so they know they like it's people that are known in the Netherlands. It's not just random strangers, and it's they have them on YouTube. So there's like 20 something seasons of them. Chris and I just got through watching the latest season, and so there is still Mole out there for those that like it. So that's kind of my game show history. Oh, let me see. Let's see. Today's okay. I'm gonna check it out. Let me. I'm gonna try to talk with you and check out the stream at the same time. Hey, Snowfire, how are you? What's up? We got reports of panties at large. Some panties got loose, so I might have to clip the stream. And you know me, I wouldn't notice something like that. So thank you, uh, people out there that are looking out for this channel. Thank you very much for bringing stuff like that to my attention because I miss a lot. And that would be one of the things. All right, let me try to find the video. So Pantygate, huh?
Yeah, I didn't even notice that Steven made a big deal about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have paid attention.
Oh, this was from his video?
Well, it was your video, but he was
Right, but his like
replaying
reaction
it.
commentary or
Yeah,
whatever. Oh, okay. He has a sharp eye. I'll give him that. He has a good eye for detail. So
and
I will
she
check it
makes
out.
she makes quite the appearance, if you know what I mean.
Because when I looked at it, all I saw was the avatar. I didn't even see where she came on camera. So I'm
The
gonna check it
three
out.
hour and 50, yeah.
All right. So how was your night? Did you go on any panels?
No, I actually went to bed. I think
Oh.
nobody was on. I went on Talcott,
Oh, he let you on?
and
I thought you
well,
were banned or something.
he was screaming at somebody, and he thought it was me in the chat. I I'm banned. I'm banned in his chat. I was banned on his StreamYard, which I banned again on his StreamYard. But I went up there to let him know that just for him to calm down. That I don't know who that other person was, but it wasn't me. About 30 seconds later, Mr. Pie asked me a question. He was up there on panel two, and he wanted my what what I thought my problem with Jack was. And I said, I can't say because Jack get too mad. Jack said, no, speak speak freely.
Oh yeah,
Well,
he said yeah.
and that lasted about 20 seconds, and I was gone. and he called me every name under the book.
After you left?
Well, right when he kicked me.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's funny.
I was.
I'm looking at that timestamp and I don't even see them on at that point. They had already left the panel.
I'm talking about Chris.
Oh, okay.
Did I
Okay.
spell it wrong?
No, there's two of them. I was thinking of the other person with that name.
Uh-uh. I was trying to be coy about it, so as not to tip.
You gotta spell things out with me. I wouldn't. I'm
I'm
not gonna pick
sorry.
up on.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you
that's what I was looking at. Was the other
look at
person,
Chris's screen
right?
or his avatar, whatever you want to call it. I mean,
Yeah, Chris is gonna have to watch that.
you get a full the full Monty.
Okay. I still don't see it at that timestamp, but oh, you mean okay, hang on then. I know what's up. I have the wrong stream. Let me go take care of that. You talking about today, the one from this afternoon?
Yes, today the one we had today where you and Joe Cool went at it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will be glad to make that one private. Um,
Number one, I don't think it'll get you in any trouble as far as YouTube goes. But number two, I don't think Chris wants that floating around
right. Yep.
because somebody already was making clips. He he spent quite a
Oh,
bit
they
of
were
time.
making clips just
I
off
think.
his channel.
I think he
Wow.
was
It
clipping
doesn't
me
take them
too.
long, huh? You can't let anything slip by on this.
Oh, I know.
And this is before AI.
I
All right,
live
so
in a
let me.
19. Yeah, I live in a 1960s motel room. He don't like my wife's choice of curtains.
Oh, are they from the 60s?
No, I'm brand new.
Oh, okay.
But she picked them out to match the. We had a whole wall is a brick fireplace, like 3/4 of the wall. Then the top half of the wall is this deep burgundy red. So she wanted the curtains to kind of match it that went in front of the sliding door. So that's what she got. Hell, I'm not no what do they call it? Interior decorator. I just
Not,
do what I'm
not
told.
straight eye for the queer guy.
Yeah, I just do what I'm told. I remember when I had my second kid, and me and my first daughter, I took her to the hospital, and she yelled at me because I dressed the kid looking like Bozo the Clown, according to her. Yeah, yeah, I have no eye for.
Oh, I'm multitasking. And in fact, you know what? I forgot to put this on social media, so I need to do that too. And that might bring some boys to the yard or some other
Oh,
creatures of the night.
somebody said you got a couple of lesbians going at it in the chat. Wow,
Oh, lesbians. Cool. We almost never get lesbians.
according to Daniel.
Oh, yeah. I still think Daniel Price he's too good. He's got to be professional at this or something. He's a writer, a
I'm just gonna
screenwriter, something.
I'm just gonna sit back and watch the hot platonic lesbian action going on with Snow and Lindsay.
Oh
Lindsay,
yeah,
I was trying.
Lindsay has hard-hitting questions.
It's
Our
a
panel
short
journalist.
clip of me and Jack's encounter.
Do you I can play it if you want, I guess.
If you want to, it'd be easier to me trying to explain it after being asleep for a couple hours. That's
All
what I
right.
said. I can't sleep long. I just happened to wake up when you came on.
Who is Josh O2?
Josh, who?
Josh. Oh, is that kid that was on Flows? No, you're not coming up here. I saw you on Flows. Nah, we're having a nice chill little stream tonight. Um,
Was Flo on tonight?
Conversation. He was on the other day, and he was talking about
Oh,
this
right.
Joshua kid. Yeah, that's the
Oh,
kid that came on the other day that
and
shot the bird
flipped you the
at me.
bird.
You know,
Yeah.
you quit wasting our time. Bye. All right, go ahead. Oh yeah, you were gonna give me the timestamp. Yeah, but that's it's the wrong kind of. I'm trying to bring the daddies to the yard. Actually, I am getting all the wayward boys, not which is actually what I'm not looking for. So I need to change milkshake. I need some of that. That get
Oh,
that
you need
devil.
a towel pot? Let me go look. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
I want the milkshake that's gonna bring the hot satanic daddies, and I feel like as Satanist, I should have that recipe, but I still have not perfected it yet because it is not bringing them. It's bringing the conspiracy theorists, the paranoid delusionals, um, and well, you watch the panels, you know what it brings. All right, let's see about. I have this list of like random conversation starter questions that I'm working off of when there's nothing else to talk about, and this one's all about TV shows, so I was answering some of those. But Chuck has some Talcott drama for us. What is the most overrated movie? There's several. Just on a personal level, Mary Poppins is one of them. I talked about it the other day. Oh, open. Oh, it's a T-shirt today. But oh, you mean for my milkshake? I had an earring growing up. Uh, when I was a little gay, a little baby gay, and it was in the right ear. If you had it was just the stud. If you had it in your right ear, that meant you were gay. So I wanted people to know because when I was out and about, I wanted you're shopping around, and so I did. I had a little stud for, and then I let it close up eventually when I grew out of that. And I do need fashion advice. I've never been good with fashion. I grew up on Garanimals. Stop by your channel. Do you want a double stream? I liked Reservoir Dogs, but I don't think it was his best. But I think it was like a good introduction to Tarantino, and then you got to watch the rest of his work kind of build on some of the stuff he laid down in Reservoir Dogs. And in relation to movies at the time, um, it was pretty good. Like it was novel, at least to us, and we were young and my generation. It was like, ooh, this is kind of. I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't Pulp Fiction yet, but it was on its way to Pulp Fiction enough to for me to not have been disappointed because I didn't have any expectations to begin with. None of us knew what it was at the time. It was something new.
2 hour and 24 second mark
Okay, let's see.
on
From
Talcott
today
today.
to what?
2:24.
All right.
And I went back an extra minute and a half to where starts talking about me before I actually get on.
All right. Well, let us take a look at this exchange. Let me cue it up between Chuck and Talcott in
And right
round
before
one. There he is.
there she is, Miss America.
Evening. We're about to watch Chuck and Jack scrap because we have nothing else to do.
I was gonna leave it alone, but Mr. Pie asked me and Jack said, no, answering. I should have kept my mouth shut.
What happened?
224. I'm at 225 and I haven't seen you on yet. Is there?
No. The 224 mark covers.
Oh, the before the setup.
Yeah, about
All right.
a minute and a half before I come on. The setup. Yeah.
All right. Let me
What happened?
we about to watch it. He and Jack. Some panel drama.
Just give Jeff something to laugh at.
Let me. All right, here we go.
So do that willingly. It's your choice. You don't have to. I suggest follow that covenant for yourself and align yourself with love.
Close.
So that's the only agreement you're willing.
It'll be coming up here in a second.
Thoughts, brother? I went on and on there for a bit. I did a bunch of stuff.
No, I'm on board, Jack.
I appreciate it. Hey, I'm curious though. Sincerely, I know how I feel. Blessed in the now. Why don't you feel free and click the link? Because I'm confident you probably are Chuck in Tennessee. Same pattern of behavior, at least. And it could, I guess there are common patterns in confusion. Patterns of disagreement are pretty common in the confused.
Dude, so I had a friend that had some things happen to
About
them.
another 30, 45 seconds, I should be popping on.
Trying to help out. They're in a pinch. Got themselves in trouble, drinking and driving, all this stuff. Not me, but a friend of mine. And there's so much pent up like anger and I guess people hold this shit in and they're just so mad about everything in their life. And so I find that when I drink a little bit, or I guess some of that comes out of me, because typically I'm just a fun, nice guy, but it's like something happens when some of these
look at Jack's face
chemicals come in your body and you get a little angry and you say a little shit you don't mean really. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's just like repressed anger from.
Hi, how was your day today? Hi. Good. Good.
Hi.
Hi. I don't.
Oh, this was some weird group that jumped on Jack.
Can you tell me?
They look fun. I wish they pop into here.
He's gonna kick them in a second.
There you go. That's Mr. Pie.
We got a pie nipple.
And welcome, Noel. It appears you're celebrating, and it's. I'm glad to join the celebrations. But about me, let's celebrate life. Yeah, random life. Hey, Noel.
Yes.
Noel, who's with you? How many people are there with you? What do we got going on? A lot. All right. Well,
hang on. How is Talcott beating us to man on the street? Chris, we got to get to work. This is ours. We cannot let him have this.
That's not man on the street. Like, I mean, he didn't go anywhere. Like, there's people on the street that gets one on his stream. That's not the same thing at all.
That's true. That's a good point. So we still have man on the street. But I also want more of this too. Like people from the
Yeah,
street,
I mean that'd be cool, but I mean,
screaming
can't
from there,
control
like,
that,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So,
though.
okay.
I can't
they're
control that though.
they're
I
messed
can't.
up though.
I don't have any way to
They're
conjure up people to
Perfect. This is exactly what I want. I'd love to get a lot of your attention. Can I get attention from a lot of you? Are you willing?
What?
Wow,
Are you
that's
willing to
nice.
get the
Isn't that what-
attention of the
isn't
other
that just what
people with
telepathy
you so that
basically
we
says
can
all the
talk?
time? It's like his whole thing is, can I get attention from
Because you
everybody?
stumbled into this, Noel, and I'd like to present.
Did you hear the
He sounds
guy?
angry, like he's
He is.
he's
Did you hear the guy
wow,
that
but
was with her?
he like it's also a chance at attention too. He's like, wait a minute, if there's this many people,
But
I
the
might be
guy
able to
called
get
him
attention
a
finally.
pastor. A guy in the
This is
background called him a pastor, and it pissed him off.
she wandered into the lion's den. I'm interested to find out what happens to her. Let's
You and your friends some opportunities to think about.
Said who?
Noel.
I didn't know the story.
Hello.
They're making
All
fun
right.
of him.
I'm not
Somebody
seeing a
in
lot
her
of
group.
cooperation, so I'm going to take a chance that perhaps there could be some here.
Well, Jack, just for the record, that is not or was not me down there.
Thank you,
Whatever
Chuck.
whatever name you think it was not me or is not me.
Blessed in the now is not you. Thank you, Chuck.
Okay.
I apologize for coming to that assumption. Thank you for helping clear it.
I did not want someone else to take the blame for me, nor did I want to take the blame for somebody else.
Yeah, you're pretty focused on a lot of blame, aren't you, Chuck? You find a lot of blame, I've noticed.
to see that maneuver. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I came up.
There's more.
I came up. Yeah, there's just a little bit.
What, Chuck? Are you a masochist? Why do you go and get treated like let yourself get treated like this over and over? It's like
because well, he said that 2 or 3 times, and I didn't want whoever it was to take the blame for what I had done to Jack.
Which was what?
Well, you're awfully focused on blame.
You donated
Chuck.
money to him a bunch of times. You've tried to help him. Yeah, I guess no good deed goes unpunished, I suppose. Especially when it's checked off.
Freak is base. Just want to shout out to Freak.
That's what I intentionally went up there to do. I didn't go up there to fight with him, but Mr. Pie pulls me into it and turns it into
Mr.
a
Pie
fight.
say? I forgot.
He ain't said it yet. It's coming
up. Okay. Oh, so it continued. Like you come. Okay, let's.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Let's roll tape.
But once it starts ripping, it don't stop.
But thank you. Well, no, thank you. You corrected the record like I believe you wanted.
Well, I didn't want you to think that I was out haunting and taunting and running different, what do they call them things? Sock accounts. I don't do that.
Okay. Again, please accept my I offered a false accusation, and thank you for clarifying. I have intended no offense. I saw patterns. I came to a conclusion. It seemed others saw the patterns as well. So thank you, Chuck. Well, yeah, I don't want to associate you with someone else. You're fully responsible for only you.
Yes,
so
that is correct.
Anything else you want?
Correct.
Anything else you want to offer or receive while you're here?
I'm listening. I come with open mind, open heart.
Really? Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I was being sincere at the time. I didn't come up here to start a fight. I did not come up here to antagonize. I just wanted to set the record straight was all, because
you had
nobody should take a beating for what I have said.
But I've taken a beating for things you've said.
How have you taken a beating for things I've said other than for me?
Well, you don't see how you've influenced or encouraged people around you, Chuck?
No, I don't. They
You
already
don't?
had their own. They had their own opinions already.
Mhm.
Their own.
Chuck is chill as fuck. Nobody takes their opinions from Chuck or listens like he thinks.
Talcott's a
But
special
Chuck,
one.
what about your part? I'm talking about your part, right? You bring my name up where it's not even related to the subject that's being discussed. And I've actually seen other panelists, when you keep bringing me up, they politely tried to change the conversation away, but you just have some sort of
Listen
egoic
close.
fixation.
I let it go. When
So
Flo
you say
or whoever tells me to let it go, I let it go.
you have to be told what to do. This is fascinating,
No,
Chuck.
I don't have
Yeah.
to be told. I
Well,
just
Chuck,
see similarities and I call
okay,
them out.
great, Chuck. You're perfect in all ways.
No, I am not
No, well,
perfect.
Chuck, you remain unconvicted. You admit nothing flawed. You've done nothing wrong in your views, in your narrative. But tell you what, my experience with you, Chuck, has been different. So I've been patient with you. You came, you felt the urgency to set the record straight once again because you had an egoic fixation on blame. So
No,
you've accomplished that. I've
I
offered
came
you
to. I
again. Do you
came to
want
keep.
anything else from here, or do you have anything
No.
of value to add?
Hey, can I interject?
Please do. Please.
Chuck,
He's Yes, lighting the Jeff. fuse.
what's the deal?
I have bullshit filters built in, and
Okay.
I have, and I've admitted this on other shows. Sometimes it gets in the way. When I should keep my mouth shut, I don't, and I admit that. But
Why
I
don't
call it.
you change it?
I call a spade a spade.
Okay,
Chuck,
so what?
Chuck,
So
why
what?
don't you
So what?
change it?
So what is
Sorry.
it? What do you mean by that? What do you when you say a spade is spade?
I just call for what I see the truth is. You know,
So what? So what do you think
the
the truth? What do you think the truth that Jack Talcott is?
what do I think?
Yeah,
I'll probably get thrown off. But
we'll
to
just
be real with
we'll just
okay,
say
to be
it.
real with you, Jeff, from the observation, my observation and my observation only, Jack is angry at his family. He's angry at his former employment.
Chuck, whoa, let me
I,
stop
I'm
right
talking
there.
to
Hold
Jeff.
on. I
I'm
don't
talking to
care.
Jeff.
Chuck, recognize where the hell you are. Show some respect to me, the man you're speaking about.
Daddy.
Okay,
Is that possible for you?
Hey, Jack, can we let's let him finish what he thinks about you really quick.
Well, no. Okay, here's the problem.
Then we can
narrative.
Okay, I'll stop,
Tell you
Jeff.
what, Mr.
I didn't come up here.
I'll sit through this again only if you agree to work with me to help change his disgusting opinions of me.
Okay, so what I want to know first of all is his opinions of you, and then we can reconcile why or have a resolution why he thinks that. So say that again, Chuck. It doesn't have to be true. Just Jack, let him say it. I don't think
and
it's
I'm not
true.
like I said, I didn't come up here to cause disagreement or a fight. My observation
and
is,
then the facts will be out. Please speak freely, Chuck.
Yep.
I'm sorry for the interruption. You reflect your views.
Okay. So you tell me, Chuck, why you have a problem with Jack?
Okay. Jack wants to become this great leader, wealthy, influential person in order to show his family and his job to get even with them. That's what came across to me. Now, if that's the truth, I don't know. That's just my observation. Because
Chuck, do you care about what is true? Here's a chance. Do you care to know what is true? Because your blasphemy, your false witness You better start caring about what is true, Chuck.
I'm trying to, Jack.
Are you?
I don't get to finish. But we have to drop the word blame against our past. We have to take credit for our part in what we did wrong.
Chuck, Chuck, you are blaming me for the insulting things that you continue to say about me. You are making excuses for your confusion. You have been spending time gaslighting each other. You're not remembering my words. I've never said I want to get back at my son, and you are a sick, disgusting fool.
That is not what I said.
You and Flow State have most certainly been describing me as vindictive. And let's and here, Chuck, I'm done. Well,
that was
Jeff?
it. Other than him carrying on about how I'm a turd.
That's it. So is the root of this he's just the wrong kind of alcoholic? Is that how this started? Because you said you were
not the wrong
recovering
kind
alcoholic,
of
and you noticed things about him that raises some flags.
He just like I said, my opinion, my observation only is he's not taking any of the blame for those two situations I mentioned. He wants to put all the blame on them, whether it's his job or his family. Because he says, I did nothing wrong on each one of those. And I never said he wanted to get even with his son. He didn't let me finish.
You said he wanted to like show his son and his family.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he didn't let me finish. That when he did what he did with the birth registry thing, was that he was trying to force his way back into his son's life. Not being that was Flo that said vindictive, not me.
Well, he's associating you with Flo because y'all are saying similar things. But why does it affect you or bother you so much? Is like even if all that's true, because plenty of other people are doing that kind of stuff in the streets too.
I guess because I've been through the program and I know drunks, I have a special.
That's what I was saying. That's why I brought up the alcoholism. Like,
is
this
okay, yeah.
Drunk that like this is a fellow drunk that
yes, one drunk to another.
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
and I don't know if that's overcomable because he's the type of drunk.
Apparently not.
And you're the type of drunk you are, and you're seeing things based on the type of drunk you are that he's not necessarily going to see.
And the one time when I made the suggestion, when he was begging for help from people, I told him, I said, go down to the local AA house and find a drunk to help. They could really use your help. And he told me, fuck that single drunk. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it to the masses, not to one person. I'm not going to help just one person. Yeah. And then,
yeah, okay. I can see that. Now, my next question is, okay, all of that makes sense. I get all of it.
But I care about him.
Why do you go on the stream of somebody that you feel that way about? And why does he let you on if he feels that way about you? There's something that keeps y'all enmeshed.
I just happened to be, your show ended, his thing popped up in the feed, and it just so happened at the time when I popped in there is when he was yelling about me making that comment. So I was trying to calm him down, is what I set off to do. And then Mr. Pie threw that zinger in there, and I thought Mr. Pie was going to actually.
I thought Mr. Pie handled it well.
Exactly.
He was pretty good.
But like he said, he didn't let me finish, and
But even if he had let you finish, it's still the same old stuff. Like y'all had this conversation 100 times.
Well, I thought maybe
it's going to come down to he's a suspicious drunk to you.
He's yeah.
Like they say you can't take what's the AA saying? You can't take the horse thief out of the. You could take the alcohol out of the horse thief, but you can't take the horse thief out of the alcoholic. And you see the horse thief in him.
Yeah, my version of it is that you take a drunken son of a bitch, you take the drink away, and you still got the son of a bitch.
Yeah.
If you just take the drink away without facing it and working it out.
But also, like Jack, everyone's at their own path recovery wise. So
yeah,
and it's like some boundaries between your recovery and where he is. But the thing is, you don't trust him, but if you have that negative view of someone or you don't trust them that much, why do you stay connected to them?
Call it a false hope.
Oh, that he's gonna. That's how Jack works. He has all this false hope that people are gonna change and be different too. Like all the trolls he lets on his pet Snafu. This is gonna be the time that Snafu is actually gonna sit and have a rational, compassionate, understanding conversation with me.
Well, I thought maybe, like I said, I wasn't going to touch it. And with Piser's approach, I thought maybe Piser would be able to help out, so to speak. But
it looked for a little while like that could have happened,
and that's what I thought. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even said anything. But when I think Piser was being sincere.
Yeah, I think he was. I think Pi is a good guy.
But then after I left, Piser called me a few choice. Doesn't have a very high opinion of me. Yeah. So I let it go with that.
Is there a way to end it once and for all, or do you think this is just one of the little storylines?
No, it's done. It's done.
Okay.
Like I said, I initially just went up there so he wouldn't be so upset with, because if he was getting ready to ban that person because he thought it was me. Anybody else can get by with talking shit.
I mean, he probably would have banned him anyway. Like if
could be.
They weren't saying anything flattering.
But I sat backstage for a couple of 3 minutes waiting to see if he wanted to try to finish it out, but he kicked me. So completely out.
Yeah, he doesn't like you. you think negative things about him. I don't know why. That seems antagonistic to go in someone's lair that is so hostile toward you because of your opinion of him.
Yeah, like I said, that's not the reason I went up there. Piser kind of drugged me into it with his question. And he sounded sincere, so I thought I'd give it a try. Yeah. I don't know why I was.
Well, no, that makes sense. I can see that makes sense. It's like Lucy in the football. Like I learned quickly. It only takes a couple of footballs for me to catch on that I'm not doing that again. But hope is a beautiful thing at the same time too. I wouldn't want people to lose the hope that these things can be reconciled.
I've gotten better at learning, but
What's up with you? How are you tonight? What's going on where you are?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying that I was just commenting on what just on that. Just like I've gotten better, but I don't learn. I tend to have that hope springs eternal thing too. I'm not so bad about it with with Panelverse stuff though. I've gotten pretty good at like letting go of a lot of that stuff. But
yeah, you really have to have a thick skin and some healthy resiliency to hang out. Like things need to be able to roll off of you here, or you're gonna your mental health is gonna. I've seen it happen. Like there's a lot of people to me that appear to be moving into some paranoid delusional territory around here, from not only from like the world and social media, but panel stress.
Yeah.
Like self-care, good mental health hygiene, etc. is
And
not
I don't know
happening.
if Chopper Jeff was over there today or not. He's talking down in chat. So I'm not sure if he was over there.
Yeah, but Jeff, like we just discovered, there is negative under Jack's not. He's not wrong when he's reacting to this negative something he's picking up from Chuck, because it is there. Chuck does not have a high opinion of Jack.
But I wasn't being negative today, whether
I know, but
anybody wants to
just
believe it or
you, like
not.
it's still in your brain. Like when you're on there, you might not have been doing it that day, but it's still in you, and he's still reacting to it, whether it gets expressed on any given panel or not.
Yeah.
I mean, in my world, it's very rare that two people that don't like each other share the same space regularly, and usually one or the other just ends up staying away and
Yeah.
giving that
Oh,
person so
I've been staying away. It's just there was nothing else on, so I just popped on to see what he was talking about, and I just happened to catch it at that moment, and that's just what happened. It won't happen again.
Well, maybe it's for the best then. You know, maybe it's maybe that's some closure for that chapter for you or something. I don't know.
Yep. I'll just put it out of my feed and forget about it.
Well, if you can.
It's pretty much a dead horse. Can't ride it too much longer.
All right. Well,
well, you had a zinger going today, Jeff. That's for damn sure.
I did. What?
When, you and Denizen.
Oh, to me it was Joe Cool. Today was me and Mr. Joe.
Well, it was both. You got into it with Joe and
Denizen kind of spurred a little bit about the mic thing, but I think some of that was just miscommunication, because he had some knowledge and expertise that I wasn't necessarily picking up on, and now that I reoriented, I think that was solved.
He did say whenever he comes in, he automatically turns his up to 130 in order to overtalk people.
yeah, he has it loud. It's obviously loud to my ear.
Yes.
He's like 10 times louder than anyone else on the panel. And if I want to lower people's settings, I have the right to do that. And if you want to bitch and complain about it, you're not going to do it on my show.
Exactly.
That's like behind the scenes, backstage stuff. You don't have to take panel time to challenge me and fight me on my own panel moderation.
Well, but see, that's where I'm going to stick my nose in here and say there's more to it than just a volume thing with him.
You mean in general or today specifically?
Yeah, because he said he feels like he can't talk on your panel. He said that today.
Well, that's one of those cases where the stream, let the record show. He can say whatever he wants. People can go look at the streams.
Exactly.
And he's talked at length many times on the show.
Oh right. Yeah.
So if he has the impression he's not getting to talk, like there's plenty of evidence to counter it. So I'm not. He can think what he wants.
There are certain people that get really sensitive and always think. I mean, I face the same
this
thing.
Is a neurodivergent space, and it's particularly neurodivergent males. All this stuff is so normal to me. I've seen it happen in the groups. I used to run in person. I see it happen in my social groups with autistic people. I see it happen in the support groups I used to go to with autistic people. This is normal. That's why I don't get too caught up on. I don't come at it from a neurotypical standard or reference point.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't. It doesn't always mean the same thing to me that it does to people that might be seeing it for the first time. And yeah, we have sensitivities sometimes, and all that I'm just used to. I know how to roll with and work around.
No, yeah, I mean, Hank gets irrationally upset about certain things, but
Yeah, I'm just to me, it's when it starts taking up panel time that I'm trying to minimize it. Some of that can be handled off panel. It doesn't need to displace like Pie was had a friend. He was trying to help. I was asking Jack, and all of that got shifted aside for the Jack and Chuck stuff, and the friend never did get. I don't know if Pie never did get the advice to help his friend. I would have rather that be the conversation. That's what I see the potential of these panels to do, and to like forfeit that for the panel drama, which usually is vibes and people saying names in the YouTube comments. So far as the basic substance of what it turns out to be when I hear all these little panel.
And I thought it was kind of funny that chick and her group of friends jumped on the panel.
Oh, that was cute. Yeah, Noelle.
But did you hear the guy that was with her in the background? That's what set Jack off.
Oh, what did he say?
First he said, "This is that pastor guy I was telling you about," and then a little bit later on, he said something about, "Here it comes, listen to him," or something like that. Jack heard that, and that's when he tensed up and started firing on her.
Jack has good. He's paranoid enough to have good instincts when people are not dealing in good faith with him. I've seen that over and over, and I trust his instincts. If he's suspicious of somebody, they probably are up to something.
Which they were.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking somebody's watched the show enough to know that the dynamic between me and Jack was going to happen. So I'm thinking that's why they jumped up there.
So wait, now you thinking the Noelle girl deliberately jumped on to set you up so you and Jack would have
not to set me up, but I think they were there to watch the interaction between me and Jack.
But how did they know the interaction was going to happen?
A viewing party? They were having like a viewing party.
But this was before the interaction even happened. How did they even know there was going to be an interaction?
I was joking. Like all people got together for a party just to see Chuck and Jack.
Right, like let's get together this bar. We're gonna set Chuck and Jack up, and then we're all gonna watch it as a group.
It wasn't a setup, but it was just weird because I heard that guy in her background, one of her friends. It just seemed kind of odd placing was all.
Yeah, it was definitely some kind of.
Y'all are some paranoid motherfuckers.
Me?
The dots y'all connect.
What what dot did I connect? I just said that
not you. It seemed trollish. I'm understand. Like she jumped on with the deliberate intent to set Jack off, so there'd be conflict.
I was joking about that. I was joking.
I'm trying to understand Chuck's narrative that he's getting off of this video. I see the two things is completely unrelated.
I'll have to go back
and read a connection between the two, and that's what I'm trying to see.
I'll have to go back and re-listen to what that guy said in the background again.
But how does it? You think it's related to you and Jack?
Well, I'm thinking it's somebody that has watched Jack before in order to come there in the first place.
Very possibly. Many people probably watch Jack for entertainment.
I heard the guy say, like I said, I heard the guy say something about that's that pastor guy I was telling you about in the background. And then a minute or two later, I heard him mention something else. And I have to go back and re-listen to remember what he said.
And you think it was about you?
I think it was just about Jack's show in general. That, like, there's going to be some fireworks or something, but I got to go back and re-listen closer.
Okay.
They were just there. Whoever, like I said, it seemed like someone had watched Jack before, knew what, and sent this girl there to get her taste of it or whatever.
But see, like your mind can think of 100 different reasons why that girl showed up. if you don't know. All
I-
I know is some random girl shows up, and then the narrative starts spinning.
Well, no, I didn't think nothing about her showing up. I just assumed it was somebody looking for a live that was out partying. But if that guy hadn't have said what he said in the back, when he said
That's
this
what
is
set
that,
He
off
may not
the
have even been
suspicion.
talking about the show. He
But
may have
it's
been talking
not
about
weird
something else entirely.
it's not weird to me if like these people have never seen Jack before and he's showing them Jack and he's like, look, y'all, this is that pastor that I keep talking
yeah,
about. None of
yeah,
that's
that's
weird to me. Like, where's the how would
It's a
that
little
trigger?
weird that because Jack's not a pastor, but
yeah. Never mind.
But I can
Never mind.
understand why someone on the internet, especially if it's some young guy
would think
hanging
that
out at a
Jack's a
bar,
pastor,
would
yeah.
see like call Jack the pastor guy. Like,
yeah. No, he
that's
does.
nothing
He
for
comes
my
across
brain to
that.
get caught up on and say, "Oh my God, there's something wrong here." The red flag. Like that's what I'm trying to understand. Like why it would trigger the need to start to develop a story of why this girl's on here, just because he said,
I
"Oh,
think they
that's the
just
pastor."
came on there to. He sent her there to see Jack. Is all I think.
They're hanging out at the bar, they're drinking, and he's probably flipping his phone. It's showing him who's live, and he's like, "Oh, look, that pastor guy's live. That I told. Look at him. Say hi."
Exactly.
Ha, ha.
It was just
That's all I
coincidence.
got out
Yes.
of it at all. Like, I didn't connect it to drama or conflict or like think it
I'm
had
not.
anything to do with.
I'm not trying to tie it to that. I'm just saying that's what set Jack on edge initially.
Oh, and that if that had not happened, he might
It
not
might
have
have
had
went a
conflict.
little.
I don't believe that. I think any opportunity to have conflict with you, it doesn't take a Noel. He's going to take it. But so you're not saying it was intentional. You're just saying
Right.
that
I'm just
changed
saying.
his mood or his state, and that
Yes.
made him more
Yes.
ripe.
It's possible.
Okay. All right. That makes more
Sorry.
sense.
Sometimes I can't articulate well, especially on 2 hours sleep.
Oh my God. 2 hours.
Well, I
2
sleep
hours.
2 hours. I
What are
get
you?
up for a while.
How
I
sleep rich are you? You freaking like
about 4 hours a night total.
sleep glutton here.
Oh my
I'm just joking,
God.
just because
Just because of
I
your
have,
it's
I
your
have
my
because
back.
oh Chuck.
Yeah.
I've been sleeping like shit too, man. I understand.
Well,
And it's not an excuse for anything. It's just how I sleep
yeah, I mean it's your body's gonna
or
do what it's
lack of
gonna.
sleep thereof.
You've adjusted to it over the years.
Yeah. You know, you ain't got much choice.
I know that's what I'm
You
thinking.
go with
Like,
the flow.
that's like Busker and his stuff.
That's
what
how
do you do?
I've been my whole life too. So I know. So I mean, you don't really have much
Yeah.
choice. You just learn to deal
Oh.
with it because you can't really you can't like.
Buster's got it 10
What are the
times worse
options?
than I
Like
do.
not do anything, not just sit there. Like,
I mean, you can. I mean, you know, I do the thing where I turn out all lights and electronics and try to like and try to like give myself a comfortable sleeping environment. I try to do all that stuff. I've tried melatonin and I refuse to take like Ambien again or anything because I don't know. I've heard too many horror stories.
what keeps you awake? Is just racing thoughts? Are your bodies just never tired?
Yeah, a combination of everything. I mean, but I've been an insomniac since I was a
Is
kid.
that is the Adderall part of that? Is that one of the side effects?
I don't take it past. I don't take Adderall past like
No, I mean just having your system in general, like at a level, at any level. Because you take it regularly, right?
Yeah, I do. But
So it stays in your system at a certain level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually sleep better when I have the Adderall though. When I don't, I sleep less without the Adderall. I don't understand why that is, but I do.
Well, but your chemistry is very unique. So there's no figuring out your chemistry. You just have to like take it for what it is. And,
I mean, everybody's chemistry is weird though.
I know, but yours is freakishly bizarre because you've said that many times. So it should be a mystery that you like. Nobody knows why your chemistry works like it does, and you're never gonna know.
I'm probably I was probably cursed by a witch or something. You know?
I think telling somebody you angered some god. You better figure out which god you angered because
I'm
life
not serious.
is throwing shit your way.
Not serious. I was just making a joke. That's all that was.
Blame the fairy.
Yeah, exactly. I was cursed by
Maybe
the
they were
fairies or
fairies
the
after
fairy
all.
king.
Yep,
The fairy king has cursed me.
it was the leprechaun at the end of the make-believe rainbow.
Yep.
Oh,
That, I mean, you know.
Oh, I still forgot to post this. Hang on, that's why it's like nobody knows we're on. Let me get this done. Chris, talk to Chuck while I focus on this. I'll be right back.
And that's what I initially came up for, was to fill some time in so Jeff could get his stuff done he needed to.
Oh, really? I didn't even know.
And it went sideways. Oh, Lord.
It went sideways, huh?
Yep, it went sideways.
How did it go sideways? I don't understand. just because you're talking about the Jack thing?
Yeah. Well, I originally came up to tell him about the show today. A little clip out of it he wanted to edit out. And then we got started on me showing up at Jack's.
Right. Well, yeah.
Man, Daniel's tearing me up down there.
Oh, is he? I haven't been paying as much attention to the comments lately.
He says he's talking like me. He's talking. I speak hick just fine, not so good with that thing they call English.
Yeah, that's Daniel Price. That's our new troll. When he's taking the Frank shift.
I see that.
Wow. There's a bunch of comments I don't understand. I don't understand anything I'm seeing right now. Wait. Lindsay said something that'll be $60 to $159. What? I understand. When are you guys should come up with the panel? After all, you know.
Come on.
Says in the fridge, Chris. I have not gotten any donations since the last time. T-Flow. Since the last time, last the other night. And I was working. I found out that I have like this little adapter for Rock Band for the Xbox that goes for a lot of money on eBay, but I went and searched so much and found it, and then I plugged it in to make sure it worked, and it didn't work. So so I ended up being bust. But you know, I'm working on it, working on trying to find some some other sources of the people on the panels have been more than generous and everything, and I'm thankful for all of that. But you know, unfortunately, refrigerators are expensive. I've got one other kind of nothing needs to be talked about. I've got a couple little ideas of trying to scrape some money together here and there. I don't know, but I haven't really I haven't come across anything solid yet. And today it was raining cats and dogs, and because I have to fix this part in the car that lets me turn on there's the button that turns on the defroster, the thing with the defogger on the windows. The button is broken, and so I can't turn the defogger on the car. So because it's kind of so humid and everything with the rain, it just you can't see anything if it's raining right now. So even with the windshield wipers, so
a lot of them buttons are just plastic micro switches.
Yeah,
and they don't.
I know how to fix. I know how to fix it. I just haven't. And I even have the part. I just haven't done it yet. I gotta.
Well, my refrigerator went out 2 years ago, so I went to go get a new one, and the wife wanted, since I was replacing the refrigerator, she wanted the microwave, the stove, and the dishwasher to match the refrigerator. Well, that's how the original set was when we bought the house 4 years ago. It was a match set. So I tried to find one that would substitute by the same company, and I couldn't. So I ended up buying the new one. But when it was all said and done, it was like $5,000.
Yeah, Yeah, I found well. There's a place here in town, and of course, the quality of them is going to be kind of questionable, and I have to be really careful about it. But there's
Yes,
a appliance liquidator place that basically has like damaged, fridges that look like somebody's,
the dent and ding. Yeah,
yeah, and like they're basically they're whatever the retail price is minus 70% of that, and so like they can be really cheap, but then again, it's the one day I did try to go to the place, like the guy was busy at like and like they're not all plugged in or anything, so you can't tell if they works or you can't tell if they work or anything, and like and then suddenly the guy said like I have to shut the store down. We have to because we have to turn off our breakers for some. It was really weird, and like I don't know. Maybe he just wanted me to leave. I don't know, but yeah,
I made I
I
made
left.
that mistake one time. I went to a place like that, and it turned out what they were doing was they were picking up these returned broken appliances and trying to resell them. They didn't
Yeah.
work to begin with.
Well, I mean, there were a couple of them that were plugged in the floor, so I know they do have some working fridges, but they were, of course, they were pretty expensive ones, even with
Yeah,
70% off. But I mean, so I have to like check it out and make sure that everything is actually running on it and everything before. But that's probably my best option right now because like beyond
yeah,
that, there isn't really.
because a
Get
lot
you
of
an
them
ice
places.
chest.
I do have an ice chest for us. I
Okay.
do have an ice chest. I mean, ice just the way the humidity is and the heat and humidity is here right now. Ice is not
Oh, what
lasting
about
very
like a
long.
little like a dorm fridge or mini fridge?
I have a very, very small mini fridge already, but it's very, very small. It doesn't hold. It's basically like most soda fridges. It just
They
has enough
want
room
like
for like sodas.
$350 for one of those dorm fridges
They
now.
do, yeah. I know, which is
It's
like, and I could actually get almost a full size fridge from that appliance
yes,
liquidation place for that.
yes,
So
it's crazy.
Did
yeah,
you try any of those buy nothing groups?
buy nothing groups.
What?
Yeah.
Never
Like it's
heard
just
of
like
Remember
them.
I
But
told you about
they
them
just
where
trade
if
they
you need
trade stuff
something,
or
you
something.
make a post, and if somebody has it, they give it to you. Because you live
oh,
in a large enough area where the chances of somebody having a fridge they're trying to get rid of
oh
is high.
yeah, if I lived closer to Chris, I got one I could have gave him. But
I
it
didn't think
what
we used to we did back when Clover was first born. There was a site called Free Cycle that
Yeah,
used to
it's
do
kind
stuff
of like
like that.
that.
But I'm not aware of any around here, but there probably are. I should look.
There's a ton of Facebook groups.
Yeah,
just be
Facebook.
Each
careful.
area buy nothing is so
That's
popular.
my only
Almost
one.
every city has a buy nothing group.
Yeah, I'll look. I'll check for that.
Is that like the new
I've gotten a
Craigslist?
little weary of anybody on Facebook and stuff like that lately though, because I've
But
gotten
you got to put that you're in a situation. So like
no, you're right.
don't
You're
let the
absolutely
head
right.
stuff prevent you from.
I'm just saying that that's like I don't think about Facebook because like I've had so much frustration with even just like I put up like some things on Marketplace a little while back, like just like little like just small things. I just thought like I really want to throw them out because they have value to somebody, I'm sure, but I literally put some of the stuff up just for free or something like that, and I had so many people that would be like, "Oh, can I come pick this up from you?" And then I'd be like, "Sure," and I give them the address and everything, and then I would wait and wait, they'd never show up, and like they would never answer the phone again, and I just feel like it happened like several times, like where like I end up just wasting all this time waiting on somebody to show up for some knickknack that I was giving away for free, and or like I was only charging like $5 for like a piece of furniture or something like that, and like they just would like but then and 3 days later they'll try to message you again. They'll be like, "Oh, do you still have that thing?" And I just ignore them at that point. I don't even bother responding. Like, yeah, I'm really gonna like waste my whole day again. Like it feels like getting trolled. I know people aren't doing it on purpose, but it feels like people are trolling you. It doesn't. It's not. I know it's not that, but I'm just saying it feels that way. It feels like people are just
Yeah,
fucking with
As
you.
I
long as
know.
you're feeling getting the shit done that you need to get done.
Yeah, yeah.
King Philip, no, I'm not, but anyone is welcome to if they want to come on. And Provo mentioned something about stopping by his channel, but then he didn't respond. So
I saw that Sandy Machine is on.
Oh, yeah. Speaking
well,
of
let me know
which,
when he's off. Let me know when he's not on.
Provo made an appearance again.
Oh, where on Sanity?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He lasted like 30 seconds,
Oh.
and Steven picked up on him.
Oh, was it? It was as himself, not like a character.
No,
Or he
came in.
tried to pass off a character.
Yep, a different one this time. And Steven was on him like stink on poo poo. It was funny.
Yeah, I'm not as good at. So Provo had me fooled for a while the other night. Like, I'm very easy to fool.
Well, at first he slipped out of character that first time. That's how I knew it was him.
Yeah, I didn't even pick
Well,
up.
I had insider information that tipped us off. So
yeah,
I
our little moles tipped
I
us
thought it
off.
sounded fake. I thought it sounded.
I totally bought it. Like, he had the picture of
Really?
the cows and I'm like,
I thought
mean,
there
the
was
sheep.
something. I thought there was something very fake about him, but I had no idea. I never would have connected it to Provo. In a million years I couldn't have guessed which troll it was, but I had a feeling it was a troll. But I mean, I wasn't going to say until they started.
What made you feel it was a troll? What tipped you off?
It's partially the name and the cows kind of thing. The things that you're saying that
Why
made you
people
buy
have all kind of weird names and avatars? What heuristic
something about
do
it
you
just seemed
use?
off. Plus his accent
the
was
voice
really
was off. The voice was off too.
Like at first his accent sounded like it was one way, and then he said,
"Oh, I don't know British
accent.
They all sound the same to me. That's why I didn't."
And then he said he was from the Bronx. He's like, "Oh no, an island off of," and I was like, "There's," and I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain there is no Bronx Island off the coast of England. So
there is a Guernsey Island.
Yeah, there is something like that, but I'm fairly certain there is no Bronx Island.
He said Jersey Island.
Oh, did he say Jersey? I thought he said the Bronx is what I thought he said, or something like that.
He slipped up a few times.
Jersey, England. Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right. I think he said Jersey. I don't know why my brain forgot what he said. But I just knew something.
It is an island. It's the island of Jersey. It's a British Crown dependency in the Channel Islands.
It's not Guernsey. It's Jersey.
Jersey, yeah. There is a Guernsey, but Jersey. There's also a Jersey.
Okay, well, I don't know. Something about it just seemed.
But they're both part of the Channel Islands, so they're both part of the state. There's a Guernsey Island and a Jersey Island.
Are they both spelled with a G?
No, Jersey is just like the state.
Oh, okay.
The two major islands are Jersey and Guernsey. These are the Channel Islands. They're between England and France in the English Channel. And one of them is called Jersey. And one of them is Guernsey. And Provo pretended to be from the island of Jersey.
Okay, well, I like I said, like I'm not saying like I was like, I saw through it all. He never got me for a second. I just kind of had like a weird kind of like what's up with this guy kind of feeling, but but then, like I said,
maybe I need to be more paranoid. Maybe the paranoiacs are onto something.
Well, I picked up on it when them slipped out of character when he was talking. His voice.
Yeah, he did. He slipped out of character. He did slip into like a not British accent for a moment. So, and it was but at the same time, it's not like paranoia. It's not like I was worrying about it. There people do that all the time in these things. There's so many.
Right. That's why I don't even devote a millisecond of brain power to that because it happens. So if somebody shows up with an avatar and a weird name, my thought train doesn't even leave the station. And some people will sit there and say, "Oh, avatar, weird name. What's this guy? What is he trying?" And my brain doesn't even have that track laid out.
Well, I mean, I didn't really lay out the track, but I just that was the station and the track and everything for me. It was like, I don't think this is right.
Mine might not even have the station. And people that are paranoid or fear-based or anxious or prone to that, there's like 10 trains shooting out of a station right away the minute some little like microscopic anomaly appears. Like the sensitivity level is so high. And I'm not saying you, or I'm just saying on this panel, I see that kind of stuff.
No, I do too. I have said many times this is actually something that.
And I work in mental health. I take that as sign or marker of something going on. Like that's not a normal state to be in.
I agree. Because I have made the point many times to I'm not going to name names, but to people, there's a lot of people that are obsessed with figuring out who everyone is. They're obsessed with figuring out, like,
Yeah.
who this person
That's
is.
way
Like,
too invested in this
and
online
like,
world.
and I've made the point to several of these people that I've talked to privately and on the stream before, that it doesn't really matter to me who they are. It's like, like, if they're going to reveal themselves or not. It's like discerning. If they're not, unless they have some way of, like, unless I think they're, like, dangerous, or they're trying to hurt me or something like that. It
I'm
doesn't
just worried
does
if
me
they're a
no
porn
good to try,
bomber or
like,
not.
it's wasted detective work
Do
to try to
you
figure out, like,
remember?
who they are. It doesn't, like, what do I get from that? What do I
Do
get
you
from
remember
figuring it out?
SimpleJack?
I know the one from the Tropic Thunder movie. Was that his name?
No.
Ben
He
Stiller's
used to come
character?
to Talcott's panel.
Oh, he's an
And
actual person. No, I
Oh,
don't.
okay. There's
Oh,
just,
maybe
there's
vaguely remember the name.
he was using the
But
name SimpleJack. Okay.
What
yeah,
is five? Wait, what is $5.99? How do you find out? Is that like a background check? I don't have anything. If y'all find anything,
Yeah,
please let me
I
know, because
mean,
it'll be news to me for the first time.
Jeff would tell you his name and everything. It's not, like, really.
No,
but
I've never been arrested. I have no arrest
he
record that I know of. I have no.
he was that happy-go-lucky gamer that
Oh,
was
okay.
that would show up on Jack's. He was always
Okay.
positive and everything. Well, one
Okay.
night we was on Flo's show, and Montegraph come up there, and SimpleJack made the statement, "Can't nobody figure out who I am." And 30 seconds later, Montegraph said, "Well, is your name this? Is this where you're at?" And
Oh, right.
the
He did
guy
like an
had,
IP. He did like an IP trace, and, like, and ran some and did some, like, basic hacker stuff. Yeah,
They were doing that back in the AOL days.
yeah, yeah. That's it's if you're not high, like, people could do that to me anytime, because, like, I see, I can't be doxxed because I dox myself. I have zero secrets on these
but
these
since
streets. Like,
Montegraph, and it was a soft one. He wasn't, because the guy told Montegraph, "There's no way you can figure out who I am." And 30 seconds later, Montegraph's telling him, and the guy hasn't been around since then.
yeah, he
Oh,
freaked out. I've seen that. I think I've seen that. I think that somebody brought that clip on the show before.
And
And
finally,
showed it to me.
Montegraph said, "All I did was run his picture off of
Ah, he
YouTube."
just ran the picture. Oh, I see. He ran his profile picture and it
yeah.
reversed it.
I learned how to do internet detective work way early, because when I look at the dating profiles, I have to do research on, especially the guys
Oh,
I end up with. I better do my research. So I learned how to, like, all the little tricks of how to search photos, LinkedIn, all that stuff, like how
Yeah.
to use all the little tricks to find information.
I remember back when I was teenager or early teens, there's back then it was just newspaper ads. And
Ordered the X-ray spectacles from the
well,
back of the comic book.
no, it was the personals in the newspaper.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, that's what you had before
but
the internet. I used personals.
there was a group of guys in our area that would answer the ones guy looking for guy, so that they could beat the shit out of them.
Oh yeah. I know. I've heard
Yeah,
about that kind of
not a
thing
good
before.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's probably an edge case too.
Yeah. I
A
mean,
what?
I don't think the thing happens as much anymore. But I know that did
No,
used to
no,
happen.
like this was years ago.
Yeah, they have people
But
that do that on Grindr. They have people that do that on the internet personal gay.com when that was around.
They've all moved on to
They're
trans people now. So
yeah, those are edge cases. There's like a certain 0.00009% of some mentally ill psychopath that's going to do it once or twice to 2 or 3 people here and there, and that's
and
it. But
the truth is,
then it builds up into this urban legend where that thing gets scary all of a sudden.
yeah.
the only reason I
don't.
mentioned it was just from personal knowledge. Otherwise, I would have
Yeah.
never known anything about it.
Because people were doing that
Yeah.
on Craigslist too when they had the personals.
Mm-hmm.
Did they?
Yeah, they used to do that in Craigslist too. And I don't think those kind of people. I don't even think they really hate gays or trans people or anything like that. Really, they're just people that are angry and they want some.
There are people that like to hurt just for the sheer thrill of seeing what effect they could have on another human being. And that, yeah,
So
if y'all made it this far in life and have never become aware of or encountered that personality type, y'all are doing pretty good. I don't know how you did it, but it's a
No,
real thing.
I have
Wow.
had the unfortunate displeasure of
Well, look at
encountering
here.
those people.
Philip, you can come up if you want. We won't dox you.
Ah, are you now? You are
Right.
SimpleJack.
Let me tell you this
rebranded.
story. When I lived in Vegas, the first the guy I stayed with had a roommate from Boston, and he was living in Boston, and he met some guy on AOL. They exchanged photos, everything, and the Boston guy was kind of overweight, so he had a very specific dating pool, and they started talking, and the guy lived in LA. They made plans for the guy to fly out to LA and meet. The guy did. He spent a weekend with him, and then he flew back to Boston, kind of like I did with the Seattle thing. And he made plans to move to LA. He moves to LA to the address that the guy lives at, and a totally different person answers the door. And he's unattractive, he's old, he's overweight, everything. And the guy he met for the weekend was actually the brother. So they sent the brother to meet him, as the guy. And they both jumped him and robbed him when he showed up to move in with them. And that's how he ended up in Vegas. My friend had to rescue him and take him in as a roommate and everything.
Wow.
So that's the links people will go to run scams on people on the internet.
If that is SimpleJack, it's kind of ironic that I mentioned that story.
Yeah, I have my doubts. It really is SimpleJack. I think he's just capitalizing on the story. So,
well, who knows?
It could be.
Wow.
It could be.
This is the data. This is a good critical thinking exercise. This is the data we have. By the way, Chuck, I am SimpleJack rebranded. Data point number 1. Data point number 2. That's all he typed, and y'all already have your stories and the evidence and the rationalizations for and against.
No, I just said
and I'm like, I have 2 points of data. I have no clue. I'm just gonna sit back until I have more data to even start to make a guess.
I just said it was odd.
What's odd? That he's SimpleJack?
Yeah,
I guess all the comments I see here. That's what I'm saying. All the comments I see in here, that did not register as odd. But for some people, it registers as an anomaly. Just like certain avatars and screen names register, and mine is just it's just another avatar and screen name.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Tupelo was there that night. She knows what I was talking about.
I'm not very simple, Lindsay. Why not? What's so complex here?
I don't know, Lindsay. I don't know if I'm making it complex or if they are. It's like their sensors are at a higher level than mine. It's more microscopic, and they catch little
maybe
differences.
Somebody's trolling
in a
me.
way
I just
that
thought it was odd that I would bring the story up and then someone.
But he probably said it because you brought the story up. He's like,
Yeah,
they're talking about this guy named SimpleJack. So he either is SimpleJack and is saying, hey, that is me, by the way, coincidentally, or he's making a joke oh, I'm SimpleJack. Ha ha.
Okay, gotcha.
But either way, none of it makes me think far more than 2 neurons over it.
Yeah, I'm not.
I just was saying it was odd.
Bothering me.
I didn't find it odd. I found it he was riffing on something happening on the stream, which the comments usually either correlate with the stream or it's people having a totally separate conversation, but there's an internal consistency to it. So, or it was actually SimpleJack and he was letting us know that, oh, he's still out here. I'm just under another name. And either one of those made sense. I couldn't think of a third possibility. So done. My brain doesn't need to think about it anymore.
And it's been long enough back, I may not be remembering the story right. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I remember seeing the clip, but I don't remember much about it. It wasn't something.
Well, apparently he may be SimpleJack. He's saying.
I'll let it go. I'll just let it go.
He said he's going to jump up, but
I think mentally healthy, the more people can
the only reason you have
go,
Jeff, though, you have one reason to be suspicious, and that is because of porn bombers. So just remember that.
But I do, I try to vet those as best I can. If he's a porn bomber, he's setting himself up he's really good. Like
Yeah.
if this is all a setup to get on here and porn bomb, he's really good.
He's working that angle good. Yep.
Yeah.
So if it's that important for him to porn bomb that he's putting this amount of effort into it,
Guess he
he
deserves
may
it then,
just
huh?
earn his porn bomb.
See, that's where I get in trouble. I keep trying to take people at face value.
I see the opposite. I feel like I'm the only one taking things at face value, and you and Chris are finding all these little loops and cracks to peek into and see if they're
I'm
not
not
really.
saying they're important though. I just said like I assumed I didn't really assume that was the truth from like from saying that. That's all. It might be the
Right.
truth, but
That's not taking things at face value.
okay. Well, I mean, I'm not being paranoid about it, though. It doesn't bother me either way. If he is
It's
or
not
isn't
paranoia,
affect
but
his
it's
life.
also not like trust or lack of suspicion. So it's a step toward where paranoia is.
Well, there is such thing as a healthy amount of skepticism, though, which I think you
Right,
would
but
agree with.
okay, let's talk about that because this is how my brain is working. I'm sitting here at my desk. I'm behind glass. I'm behind a laptop. What degree of skepticism do I actually need to like? What default level do I even need to show
And
up
you
with?
know, and if I was as good as compartmentalizing as you are, Jeff, then maybe like that would be like that. But because I'm not very good at compartmentalizing like that, so I remain in a semi-skeptical viewpoint like most of the time, and like I don't usually I wouldn't even commented on it if we weren't talking about that. If that wasn't like being brought up, I wouldn't have even mentioned it. But
So
since it was
there is,
brought up,
I was right when I was saying paranoia. There was some fire behind the smoke.
I don't know if you really get into that paranoia. If you really think it's paranoia, but it was more just like a thought.
No,
Like,
but I
I
said
doubt it.
it's in the direction. It seems heading like if you were going to be paranoid, this would be the beginning stages of it. It would look something like this.
I guess so. I mean, but
Yeah,
you could say
can
the
come
same
up
thing
with
about every time anybody like whenever I told my stupid dumb story about fairies and you jump to the I mean you could say that's you're being paranoid that I'm like making stuff up or something. I mean like it's not
No, it was
not
just little
paranoia.
things that didn't add up. That add up. Like I have a strong
Yeah,
sense
and that's
meter.
the same thing there. It's just like there's little things that don't add up, and
But I'm
I
trying to
didn't really give it much
understand the
thought.
disconnects because mine are when like people. I guess mine are auditory when people are telling a story and they say something else, and I'm like, "What they just said this other thing," and I noticed that right away. And y'all's are like visual. It's avatars and screen names. It's comments in the chat. So maybe y'all notice visual things, and I'm more auditory. But I know what it's like. That little feeling of disconnect, like something's not matching.
Yeah, I mean,
I
well,
just don't have that for things like avatars and screen because none of that has a logic to it in the first place to even match or not match.
I agree with you right there, Dennis. And why don't they ever have any good porn put up, right? I mean, it's always the worst porn they try to bomb you with. Why can't they? Why can't we have a porn bomber that has some quality porn up every now and then, right?
They
You know,
are
I
out
mean,
there.
come on.
Yeah, some like sexy
Hi, Andrew.
gay on gay S&M porn. Hey, Andrew, welcome.
I don't know that I've met you before, but I think I have. I think your face looks familiar.
He hangs out on Flows and some other panels.
I got a second phone.
Oh.
I just had to go and get my number again. Phones break easy. Like I be with the phone for about 2 months, 3 months, or whatever, and all of a sudden it doesn't work. What I'm on is the same exact one, but it's a government phone.
I had one of those government phones. That was terrible.
Charging up right now. Oh wait. Oh yeah.
That one looks pretty nice actually for a government phone.
No, this was not the government phone. This is my service phone. I pay month to month on it.
It's like Metro or something like that. Something like that.
I don't do Metro. That bullshit is. I hate that.
You know, the only good thing I ever got about Metro is that Metro will give you pretty much a decent free phone when you sign up through a service, even if it was just for a month. And a lot of better providers will let you trade those phones in towards nicer phones for like and you get like you basically get a really nice phone for free. That's about the best thing that you can do with Metro, but
I think
I
I'd
haven't done
like
that
to
in a while.
have a phone that I'd be stable with for a long time instead. I mean,
I had a
better
Galaxy.
for quality
I had a
than for
Galaxy
quantity.
S20. I had a Galaxy S20 Ultra for like 2.5 years, and one night I fell asleep with it next to me in
I'm
bed.
sorry. How long did you have the phone for?
2.5 years.
2.5
And
years.
I fell asleep with it next to me, and I guess I rolled it. And when I woke up, like the screen was cracked. I don't know what happened, but I guess I rolled on it the wrong way, and I cracked the screen on the phone in my sleep somehow. And
did you have it charging at the time?
No, it was just there. No. I don't know what I did. I guess I'm just fat enough to break the phone. I don't know.
I had myself an LG phone. And when I had it on, I thought I had it on a platform where you can have it and it could charge for a couple of hours or whatever. And one day I was waking up. I had a futon while I was waking up, and I was on top of it.
All right, we're gonna try this. Let me go into Hey, Philip.
I know where.
I'm gonna go into solo just for a sec while we.
Is this mic working?
Yeah, we can. Oh, yeah, it works good. I hear you
Jack.
better than anybody.
That's Jack.
Hey, Chuck.
That is Jack, so it's cool.
Yeah, I know Jack. That's Jack.
All right, so see, it was simple. He is simple, Jack. That was he said I'm SimpleJack, and he was SimpleJack. There you go.
Most definitely.
There you go. It was just a weird coincidence. So
sometimes
coincidences are coincidences.
Jack, it was far enough back. I was trying to piece it together best I could.
Yeah, it happens, Chuck. How you doing, brother?
I wasn't ragging on you, by no means.
No, you're just telling the story from your point of view. I understand, my friend.
Wow, you were. Oh, I think I do remember you, SimpleJack. I have seen you on a few panels a few years ago. Yeah,
I do think I remember seeing his face before myself.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
I think I remember you as very like sane and balanced and able to have reasonable conversations.
Always positive. Yeah. Always positive.
Yeah, that's the one, the positive dude. I don't know how he does it.
I appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
I like your setup there, dude. You have a nice looking little
what is that? Thing. Is that cassette tapes?
Told you he was a gamer.
Yeah, so that's the stream right there behind me in the TV.
Yeah, what's the? Yeah, I know, but your
wow,
bookshelf type thing it's video games apparently, right? Those are like what are those Super Nintendo games or Nintendo games?
Oh, those are Hot Wheels.
Oh, those are Hot Wheels. Okay.
What?
Yeah, those are Hot Wheels. I made that. It's on a corkboard, and I made those little sliders they slide into.
Yeah, those are cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I collected Hot Wheels when I was a kid, so I'm down.
We had the tracks that you would race them on. You'd like wind them up and shoot them down this track.
My wife really likes the Hot Wheels video game. They came out.
Mom used the Wampas with them damn things.
Yes, Andrew, they are.
I hope you had some from years and years ago. Those, I mean, they won't have those any.
And then hello, Lindsay. How you doing? Good to see you in the chat.
Self pressure right there.
Got a Stevie Wonder glasses on.
Yeah, I've learned it's the way to go from Flow, right? And Machine Lies. The glasses add a sense of.
Yeah, it is. Mine broke. I need some new ones, but.
Yeah, I wear mine on stream sometimes, but I haven't been feeling cool enough to wear them lately. So.
Well, put them on, and you might start feeling cool. Like work it in reverse.
Cool,
I'm serious.
No, it's literally like I was wearing them whenever I was using like that studio light, but I pawned that computer as part of how I got.
And
my
the
car
chesties I know have been
Yeah, well, I haven't. I can't stream over there. I haven't moved my. I need to move my setup over there where the Mac was because I don't have that Mac now, and so I don't have the studio light set up. So I like if I put the sunglasses on now, it's just dark in here. So it's silly.
Like the
if I had
poker
the studio,
players.
if I had the studio light shining in my face, I'd be wearing the sunglasses because that's the only reason I started wearing them in the first place. Because like it was like literally hurting my eyes
Yes.
to be streaming in front of that studio light thing. So.
Well, Philip, what's on your mind tonight?
Oh, nothing much. I'm actually life is good for me, my friend. I'm just coming up to say hi and to verify who I am. I'm not, it's just all I'm here to do, and maybe I can enter the conversation with you guys and see what you guys can help with the topic or
Sure.
something.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you did.
Sorry for doubting you,
confusion.
Mr. Philip / SimpleJack.
Well, I figured it was just from the way the words he was putting in there. That's why I thought it was odd that I brought that story up, and boom, there he is.
Weird how things work out, right, Chuck?
Yep. Good Lord, up to the good Lord, what we get.
Yes, sir. I'm on the same page.
Is this sugar molecules or shorter? What? You guys in the chat are having a conversation that I feel like I'm too simple to understand. So
Simple is understanding.
but what I mean in the SimpleJack from the movie sense of SimpleJack is simple. Is what I mean.
Is that what you were named after?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. All right.
I love
I mean,
SimpleJack.
how could it not be?
Yeah, Tropic Thunder.
How could it not
Great
be? I
movie.
mean, if if it's not if it wasn't from that, it would be an unfortunate. It would become an unfortunate name if you unknowingly had named yourself SimpleJack and you didn't know about Tropic Thunder. That would be that'd be a very unfortunate thing to do.
Anybody want some ice cream tonight?
Which
What kind of ice cream you
flavor?
got there, man? What kind of ice cream you working on? All my ice cream melted whenever my fridge broke.
Thrifty chocolate peanut. Oh yeah, I like the peanut butter cup.
That seems like a good one.
It's
Yeah.
Thrifty's
I
ice
don't
cream.
like that brand,
That's plastic.
though.
Really?
Is that Mayfield?
Don't
eat it because I felt the need for.
We managed to eat like we only ever buy like little pints of ice cream because like because I have I have that gastric sleeve thing, so I can't eat a lot of stuff in general. I have a very small stomach, but we only get these little pints, and the only one that hadn't like completely melted by the time we realized the fridge was broken was this pint of this ice cream. It was a gelato that was whiskey cake gelato, and it was delicious. Oh my god, it was even good like when it was supposed to melted. And we have a restaurant here in Dallas called Whiskey Cake and it literally the ice cream just tasted like that cake, like distilled ice cream. It was amazing. Like yeah, it's like a pecan. It's like a whiskey soaked pecan, and like they soak it like where they put the Eagle brand like sweet cream, stuff in it. It's like that. Like it's just really, it's a very very indulgent cake, but it's very good.
Oh man, King, that stuff, and tiramisu.
Oh yeah,
tiramisu is great. I like tiramisu. I haven't had tiramisu in a while, but we used to get it a lot at this one sushi place me and my wife used to go to when we were first started dating a lot.
Tiramisu at the sushi place.
Tiramisu, yeah, yeah, I know. Tiramisu.
Was it frozen or was it there? Did they make it there?
They made it fresh. It was just like this. There was this little sushi place that was right up around the corner from where we lived, and they made fresh tiramisu. They also and one of the other places also had one of the others. There was actually a sushi buffet that on the buffet their main dessert was creme brulee. So I guess there's like some sort of like weird. There's some sort of weird thing with
Asians are weird.
Japanese places doing like Italian or French type desserts or something. It's funny, but yeah, the creme brulee they had was really good too, and it was real creme brulee. It wasn't just like it was actually like it was actually caramelized on top and everything. You had to crack it with a spoon.
Wow.
You heard on a blog that I never had ice cream. Wow. Yeah. You're right, Denizen. You got me. I lies about having ice cream in order to scam money.
Or something. Did
The
they
what?
made the tiramisu into a flambe or something?
No, that's two different things. Creme brulee is just it's a French dessert. I think it's French.
Yeah, it has that like caramel coating on it.
They take a custard, and then they take a torch and they burn the top of it, and it turns into a crust. And you crack it with a spoon and you eat it, and it's like pudding, but with like this.
I used to make caramel when I was a kid.
It does sound
and take
like
it to school.
They made it into a flambe tiramisu.
It's not. It doesn't taste like tiramisu. But yeah, it's interesting.
I know.
But it's good though.
Sugar.
Both things are very good though. Great.
Yeah, they just
great
burn
dessert.
the sugar till it caramelizes, and then you bust through it. Yeah.
You can get like in the grocery store they have fake creme brulee pudding and stuff like that. That's flavored like that, but it's not really creme brulee because it's
like in the box that you made the instant pudding.
I don't know about that, but I've seen like cups. I remember.
Okay.
We bought them once because Lindsay wanted to try it, but she was very disappointed.
Individual servings, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't actually have the crust on the top.
Do they still have pudding pops?
I don't know. I haven't looked in a while.
Did that brand tank?
I bet they do. I would imagine that. I imagine if I went to Walmart, I could find something close to a pudding
Those
pop.
were
right
so
now.
good growing up, especially the vanilla.
I mean, they were just ice cream bars. I mean, it was the same thing as like.
They were good. They were not just ice cream bars. They were good and magical.
They were made out of pudding.
Disillusioning me of my pudding pops.
Really? I think they're really made of pudding. I don't know. I haven't had one since I was a kid.
I don't know if they were really made of pudding. They were good. I'm not making the claim they were really made of pudding.
And
that was
I wasn't making the
the
claim they
special
weren't
thing
good.
about them. There was
I
just
wasn't
something
I was
about
never
them
making
that
the
was
claim they were
unique and good and fun as a kid.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it
was
sounds
never
like a
making the claim they
mission for
weren't
you,
good.
Jeff.
I just thought they were the same.
Tomorrow-
I always thought they were the same thing as fudgesicles. That's all. I just thought they were the same thing as.
Well, you have
Tomorrow,
weird
go to the
chemistry. I like
store
it.
and go find your pudding pops. That's your goal tomorrow, Jeff. Go find your
Yeah.
pudding pops.
Go.
That's a
look.
good
I
idea.
mean,
I used to make my own
pudding pops.
yeah, that's true. Why don't you
Yeah.
just get some pudding?
But
and
they
just put it
they
in
didn't
some-
come out like the Jello kind, right? There's
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
you
why
take the
couldn't you
Jello
just
pudding,
why
put
couldn't
a
you just
stick
take?
in it, and freeze it.
I bet you right now. I'm
Yeah.
gonna look it up right now.
they
I
do
bet
have
you
pudding
like
pops.
make it home pudding pops.
They
I
do
bet
have
I can find that.
recipes for it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it says maybe they were discontinued.
But you can make them though. You could just I'm sure there's probably something you got to add to the pudding to make it freeze right.
More of a reason to make them.
It says literally you just mix pudding with whipped cream and then you fill the mold and add a stick.
If you're a product of the '80s, Valley Speak, punk rock, and all things Ronald Reagan, that wasn't even the punk. First of all, punk rock was late '70s. It was over by the '80s.
I have this.
Valley Speak. Nobody talked Valley Speak except for the Valley people.
In the movie,
You probably
yeah.
snacked on Jello
Valley Speak was
brand
mostly
pudding
made
pops.
up by Frank Zappa anyway.
Who can forget the? Let's see.
How's business
Right.
been going, Jack?
Why pudding pops were discontinued? Let's see.
Business is good. I'm working hard, Chuck.
Good,
boss is
good.
happy.
Glad to hear it.
And there's some really good looking recipes for pudding pops online, man.
Thanks for asking, Chuck.
Some of these look
How you doing,
great.
brother?
You guys are getting too excited over ice cream.
Oh, I can't.
No, I just want to
eat
find
ice
out what
cream.
happened to the pudding pops. This article is taking forever to get to the.
So,
I
Chuck,
do
you
like
gotta
making
do
some.
something else,
I do
man.
like finding new recipes to make, like things that I can try to I can
Your
create,
volume's a little low, Jack.
Yeah, I gotta learn to talk into this mic.
Mm.
Are you not? You're not used to talking to the mic yet. I did that for a little while. I actually had a proper mic instead of using the headset, but now I'm just using this headset thing, and it's just a lot easier.
Yeah, no, it's a new mic for me, and it's directional, so I have to be within 6 inches
Yeah.
and right above in front of it. So
Yeah, I can see. I see. What brand is it? What brand are you using?
Logitech.
Logitech.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate the fact that they
That's good,
bought
Mark.
Blue and then
good one,
shut
everything.
Blue down because I love Blue
Logitech bought
microphones.
Blue.
Yeah, Logitech a long time ago. Logitech bought Blue.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then they shut Blue down about I don't know, a few months back. Like Blue microphones don't exist anymore. Like they don't make them
What
anymore.
about
Really?
Yeti?
Yeah. They shut
Wasn't
down
Yeti
the
part
blue
of
technology,
Blue?
though.
Yeah, Yeti.
Yeah, this is a
I mean,
Yeti.
Logitech might make a Yeti now. Logitech might have just absorbed them into their own thing, but Blue made a lot of like professional level microphones that were really awesome. I owned a couple of them back in the day before I had to sell that stuff, and they were great microphones. I mean, I liked them better than a lot of even more expensive microphones I'd worked with. It was other people in studios and stuff like that. I like Newmans and stuff like that. I prefer the sound of Blues myself, but then Logitech bought them, and their quality slowly kind of started going downhill a little bit by a little bit.
That's
and they shut them
usually
down.
what happens.
Yep, that's
usually what happens.
So they
Wow,
I wouldn't be surprised if they're still making the snowballs and the Yetis, but there's probably Logitech branded now.
Pudding Pops originated in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I did not know that. So y'all are welcome.
What year?
1970s, and they became popular in the 80s. General food.
Like the official popsicle of rape. So
stop. I'm trying to keep my stream. Our stream, by the way.
I'm sorry, Bill Cosby was the face. And
I know, but you don't have to like draw the YouTube gods to my channel over it.
I'm sorry.
I didn't think about that.
I've never pushed the R word yet, so that hasn't.
Okay,
like,
I apologize. I didn't even realize that was one of the words you're not allowed to say. I didn't even.
I don't know if we'll find out, but that's one of the edges that people try to push. I know that.
I missed it,
especially nowadays.
I did not realize that was a no word. I'm sorry.
Well, we'll find. I don't know if we'll find out, but it's not something that I would like regularly showing up on my stream just in case.
Okay, well, I will keep in mind. I'm sorry. It wasn't intended in malice or in.
I don't think it was. I'm just. It's my part of my job to point that stuff out.
Damn. Now I'm curious. What was the word? Type it in the back chat.
It was grapes.
He was talking about Bill Cosby
yes,
and Pudding
Pops. Never mind. Yeah, that's a word that might get you.
It is okay. I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
William Fond Davator Dautrieve.
You got sensitive people out there. That's how I'll put it.
How do you
well,
deal
I
with
was
sensitive people?
I was making a Bill Cosby joke. It really wasn't a joke about that. It was a joke.
I know.
About Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby in this day and age is like an edge topic.
Yeah, that's our phrase. They should stop using that as an excuse to Lucy around.
What's that?
Who was beating up on Mr. Pie?
Huh?
Or
tell him he can come here. We'll give him sanctuary here if he needs it.
Yeah, prayer. I pray for.
Did I miss something?
Having a rough time in the streets tonight.
Oh, Lindsay. Okay, I see. Lindsay was checking on. Okay, I see.
I
think everybody got stoned.
They call everybody
beta pussy with other people. He was an old man, and they beat him up.
Who?
Bill Cosby, and what they said about him to try and slander him because he did not follow what Harvey Weinstein was talking about.
But we're moving away from that topic. We're moving away from that topic.
I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what topic do we talk about now?
Any topic that won't put my channel at risk.
You're right. I'm sorry. That's my fault.
Yeah, you don't want to get a strike before you're famous.
Have you guys gone through the best of Craigslist?
And I had to take the stream down earlier too. So
what was that, Jack?
You see the best of Craigslist, like the Reddit or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. The best of Craigslist has some funny topics on there, like some
interesting
stories.
I've seen YouTube videos that were recapping some of them, like that I didn't even click on, but like autoplayed. I guess I actually clicked on one of those Redditor reader YouTube channels at one point, so I get those every now and then.
Steven, you told me you're gonna hang on. Steven's in the comments. Yeah, when somebody threatens my channel by telling me they could bury my channel, I have to protect the channel. So you become a threat at that point. There's not you chose to escalate to a threat, And you chose to hand your critics a huge win last night by proving everything they've been trying to convince me of right. I don't know why you chose to do that, but I have to take you seriously as a threat now and protect my channel. So for that reason, I'm going to send you on your way.
I had no idea that this had happened. I thought that that's the reason now I understand your response earlier.
He went after Chuck's daughter again a second time after the first time, and then told me he could bury my channel.
I did not know that.
Well, you and I need to talk more because there's.
Yeah. I didn't even know that you streamed last night until today. So I was actually asleep by the time you started streaming last night. So
that's a smart move, Jeff.
And that's for anybody. Like, I'm trying to do something good with this channel to help people, and if people are not on board with that, or gonna like undermine or sabotage or work against that, I don't want them here. And if you're gonna actively threaten the channel, then yeah, you're not going to be here. You're not going to come on the panel. You're not going to hang out in the comments. I think that's very reasonable. I don't think there's anything crazy or insane about that. And that would apply to anybody. It just happened to be Steven, the one that chose to do that. So
yeah, I had no idea.
Because if this channel goes, and I can't get help and hang on a second. I can't get help and cooperation in keeping this running. This is supposed to be a community effort. But I take the hit and the responsibility for it. So if this channel loses, I can't guarantee I'm going to build a new one or even be motivated to. So this is supposed to be a collaboration with people that want to do something constructive for society. And if that's not what this is going to draw anymore, then and I lose it, I'm going to go do something else.
It's understandable.
Is the name of the
That's why I told you I like this channel, Jeff.
Yeah, but I'm part of the drama and the pushing the limits. And there's a certain amount of respect that I think this channel has earned or is trying to earn. And if I can't get that to keep it going, hey, Lawrence.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, Steven, like I thought that after the other night we both went on your stream just a couple days ago, and I thought everything was cool. I had no idea that like all this beef had popped up, and like that's really disappointing to hear this year.
And the other thing, Steven, is your pattern matching is not as good as you think it is, because the pattern you described noticing on the stream the other day is not anything close to what the situation is. And I tried to explain my end of it, but that's when you said you could bury my channel. So that's where we're at, and that's where it's going to stay. So I don't have a personal problem with you. I've enjoyed our conversations. I wish you the best, but I can't take the risk of having you associated with the channel anymore. So fare thee well. All right. Okay. What was the topic from Craigslist? SimpleJack.
The best of Craigslist.
Jeff,
there's all types of stories from there. There's a variety of stories. It's fun.
He was talking shit about me too, Dahlia. Like what?
Okay, no, Chris. The drama ends now. I'm asking for help to get my channel back on a track with higher potential than this Jerry Springer junior high school bullshit. And I'm going to start excluding people from the panel that are not here to help with that. I sound like Talcott right now, I know. But I don't know anything to do right now. I've got to get my show back on the track that I thought we all wanted it on.
I do want it on that track. I was just surprised by the comment. I reacted in surprise, not in term.
Okay, can we move on?
Yes.
From the sanity machine and whatever's going in the comments. It's called redirect. That's what I'm trying to do.
What were you saying, Andrew?
Yes, to the person that keeps on talking over Jeff, it is not just messing with his channel, it is messing with us being able to be on his channel. You're not just messing with him.
Okay, let it go. Let it go.
Yes, just.
And I'm sorry,
Bye-bye.
I came up and I didn't ask how you guys were doing. How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Thank you, Chuck. You had a good day today?
I know it's
Every day, any day I wake up's a good day.
No, I hear you, bro.
I hear that, Chuck.
Were you stressing out about anything?
Every day I don't fall down the stairs and break my neck is a good day.
Every day.
I try not to stress out if I can help it.
Uncle Martha once said, "Every day you live is
Any
the
advice for the next generation, Chuck?
Oh
How do you not
Lord,
stress
we're
out?
we're
one
in
tip.
trouble.
One tip for the day. One tip.
I just try to do the next right thing as I go through my day, and not beat myself up if I make a mistake.
Thank you, Chuck.
Yep, I hear that.
Chris,
You
how
know,
was your day?
I try to treat others as I would want to be treated in real life. You know.
Whoa! Save some of these tips for the next show, one at a time, Chuck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We could,
Gotta
we
spread
need
them
something
out,
for
dude.
tomorrow.
Gotta spread this
You
stuff
gotta-
out like some crunchy peanut butter, you know.
You got to remember, I'm old.
The boomers just want to keep on telling their stories.
Hey, I
Let's
see
get
our
going.
buddy.
How
Jeff.
old are you, Chuck?
boomers.
How old am I? I'm let me think about 63 and a half.
63 and a half? Wow.
Yeah,
I think you're forgetting some zeros in there, Chuck.
I know. It's been a hard
He's
life.
6,300 years old.
Yes.
I
He's
feel
old
like
tree
it.
beard. We got old tree beard here on the panel.
Can you only
Gandalf.
imagine, that would feel like King Philip of being 6,300 years old if we were able to live that long?
I need a can of WD-40 in the morning.
Right. Yep. Dear God, like I mean, yeah. It's like on one hand, it's like there's a part of me that the idea of living for like a really really long time appeals, because like I want to see where things go. But the other part of me is like, God, life is long enough as it is, isn't it? Like,
Exactly what I was thinking, Chris.
yeah.
I was about to ask.
Like I
if you
want to
guys-
find out what happens next, you know. But at the same time, like at some point, I'm just gonna be like, damn, I'm tired. You know?
If you guys had a choice to be, an immoral being and stay the same way you look at the age you wanted, would you do it, or would you live life?
Oh,
If you're immortal, would you? Are you saying would you
choose
change
that option?
change where you live?
No, would you choose that option if you had a choice to either live a life
Oh
where
shit, that is a tough question.
What's
That's a
the
tough
question?
Jeff, if you had a chance to be immortal and choose the age you wanted to be for the rest of your life, or live a life with your friends and die with your friends, which path would you choose?
A life with what? Your friends?
Yeah, because your friend
And die with your friends.
live and die with your friends.
Hands down, too. I don't want to live forever. Like, so one of my nightmares is that death, that I don't die. That sounds like a nightmare.
yeah.
I already feel like I have most of that life. I've been fortunate, and I would just
Andrew,
want more of that.
your stuff thing is creeping me the fuck out, dude.
Oh, what?
Let me see. No, that's his cute little
It
yeah,
didn't
he's
look
shown that
just
before.
all I could see was half. I only see was half the head, so it looked like some weird
Oh,
half
it's
a
human face
ladybug.
thing for a
It's
second.
perfect
Now I
for
see it's like a
here.
Pusheen. I see it's a Pusheen now, so I get it now.
It's
thought it
a
was a Cookie
British
Monster.
Warriors.
And hey, Angel, welcome.
Bug.
Yeah, hi, Angel.
Fishbowl.
I seen your
Giant
buddy,
fuzzy
Jeff.
animal.
Yeah, Dahlia makes a good point. But even immortal, you'd have to live through that too. It'd be even worse, right? Because the people that are not immortal would keep coming in and out of your life over the years. That's what the vampires suffer.
Oh, as long as I have all my organs by the end.
What if you could do a Being John
What
Malkovich
is that?
thing, and
Who
you
is
could
that
and you
character?
could take a bunch of your friends into the head of like some person
Hi,
and live as
Angel.
a collective soul
Hi,
complex
Angel.
inside
Hey,
somebody else's
Angel.
brain, right? What if you could do that?
I'm
Oh,
kind of
wow.
weird too.
Yeah.
I have.
It's y'all don't know how many
Disney.
statistic zooms I go on with where they all have their stuffed animals. So this is it's such a common thing to see.
I
But
seen
peanut
your
butter and
buddy
jelly sandwich
online
Try
again,
to
Jeff.
say it's creepy and try to like intimidate me just because I have this. But if you must know, Jeff, this is a plush character of Quincy from the Playhouse Disney series, Little Einsteins.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Okay.
man!
For a second, I thought it was Dipper
So
from
then
Gravity Falls,
he's
but
Allie's big brother.
I don't know any of that shows. I know
I
Gravity
remember
Falls.
that cartoon. I tried to get my younger brother to show that one to his girls. And there's a lot of music, and there's a lot of singing animals.
That was my son's favorite show.
Little Einsteins.
Yeah.
Clover used to like
Never
it.
heard of it.
Clover used to like that one when she was a kid. I remember her liking that one when she was
It
smaller.
was an educational cartoon.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, it was. It
Yeah.
was one of the better ones. I remember.
It
I remember a lot about it.
was
I used to like that one. I
a
used to like Yo Gabba
Disney
Gabba a lot.
version of the Nickelodeon they called Dora.
Dora the Explorer.
Yeah. And then there was Handy Manny, and they were like the same thing, but like one was they were like you ever think about Dora the Explorer though, and how like kind of weird the whole Dora the Explorer thing is. It's like a show that encourages children to go and like walk around like by themselves, explore places and stuff like that. Like that seems like a
Yeah,
really
what's
bad
wrong with
message.
that? That's what I did as a
And
kid.
I say, hey,
Yeah, not today though.
have
It's
a
not a good
wonderful
idea today.
What's
And then Handy
hey?
Manny
Let's
is
talk
like,
about this. What's
Learn
different
your
about today? Like,
place
why could we
and
do it,
get
but kids today
along with each other.
All the mean people in the world.
When I
they might
was a
get their
kid,
feelings hurt?
I liked
I don't
Magic
mean that
School
kind of
Bus.
mean.
Arthur, and one of my favorite morning shows, Fred Rogers. I liked
know that.
Fred Rogers.
Oh, Mr. Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Rogers.
I'm
Mr.
afraid.
Rogers is amazing. Yeah,
Neighborhood.
he's a hero
So
of mine.
what-
I love that guy.
Yeah, I never do
If
anything
I
with
had
Fred.
kids
The
today,
Robot
for some reason,
Foundation became a large foundation because he made it that.
yeah,
And guess what, guys? He could do his First Amendment audits without getting infringed upon.
Yeah.
I
Think
want to
about it.
explore. Hang on, Andrew. I want to explore this topic more. If I had kids today, are you saying I could not let them go explore by themselves?
Yeah,
It depends on where
probably.
you're
What
at.
what
Yeah, it
what
depends
is
on where you
what
live.
is
It
the
does.
danger
Like here in the
today that
city,
would not
here
be
where
there
I
in
live,
the
I would
70s and
not let my
80s?
kids.
Hang on, what's the danger today that I'd have to worry about that I would not have to worry about if they were my kids in the 70s and 80s like we were?
Drugs.
I would just think that danger is more frequent because there's more people.
Just the
Yeah.
increase in population, like so
Yeah, so it just
statistically.
increases danger over time. That's
Yeah.
the only thing I could think of.
That's so subjective, though. Sense of danger.
That is an excuse for an unruly law enforcement.
I think it's
Huh?
safetyism, but I'm trying to figure out how realistic that level of
I'll never
safetyism
say
is.
my safety.
Like if something changed to warrant it, or if the safetyism came first and then our perspectives on this type of things changed as a result. But there was
The
no actual
environment.
increase in threat.
That's a good question.
The
That's a good question.
environment changed.
I do think
Drugs,
the environment
That's
changed
crime,
somewhat.
what about it
murder.
changed? Are
I
there
mean,
more?
look at the schools today compared to the schools even back like whenever I was growing up. Like the schools are a lot more dangerous. There's a lot more like there's a lot more like violence and drugs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And like there's just a lot more. I mean, it's just like things are
So
just
people
not.
are more violent than they were in our era.
They're not more violent.
I
Like
think
they
the
were always that
government is
violent, but
more
they're more
violent.
likely to express that violence in reality.
Well, I
than
call
they
that
used to.
being more violent because we're all like capable of violence. So it's the expression of violence that I use as a
Yeah,
marker.
people feel more comfortable getting away with and doing violent things today than they used to. They don't feel the inhibition to suppress those kind of impulses that they used to. I don't know why that is, but like there definitely is a lack of that suppression that I used to see even when I was growing up. And I saw that it degrade as I was growing up. Like whenever I was like very young, like in like 9, 10, 11. I remember as I was getting older, I remember seeing more and more of that kind of crap. Like as I got older, and I stopped at some point, even when I was older, and more capable of protecting myself. I stopped going out and doing, and like riding my bike and stuff as I got like around 15 or something, because I didn't feel safe, because
There's
I
no
had gotten like it's like
ramifications
hmm?
for. I said there's no ramifications for doing wrong.
Right, yeah, that's probably a lot of it.
I also see a lot more distractions or things to happen. Like, there's phones and people not paying attention. So there's a lot more chance for accidents, especially for
Yeah, there's that
kids.
too.
Electric bikes are much faster than the standard bicycle. You know what I mean? So the damage is way worse.
Oh, a bike
Oh,
is
the
a
world is
bike.
just faster in general, and so
the
it
world is
decreases
faster.
the risk of things.
Thank you for putting in better words,
That's
Jeff.
a not a bad point. But still, I still would want my kids to be able to go explore. That was so valuable to me. I wouldn't want them not to have that.
I think if you choose the right area and neighborhoods, they still have that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a very safe neighborhood of the town I grew up in, but like I'd recently drove to that neighborhood last time I was in that hometown, and I looked around at like what the neighborhood has degraded into since I was a kid, and like I wouldn't let my kids just run around there really these days. It's you can just feel you don't it isn't it didn't feel safe to me as an adult being there. It was weird. It was very surreal being back in this place that I spent so much time, and I remember feeling so safe and everything like that. Whereas now on the other hand, my grandparents' house, which is way out in the country, out in rural Texas, and it still feels very safe and stuff like that. And when I was a kid, I used to go out. Me and my granddad used to take me out, and we used to go walking in the woods all the time. We used to walk in the woods for hours and hours. But he never let me do that by myself though either. He always
Oh,
went
we
with me.
did.
So
We were always out in the woods.
they always told me never to go further than if they had to call me.
Oh, they told us to go as
forward.
far as you want and stay as long as you want.
I always had the rule of like whenever if it was the woods or something like that, I was like, don't if I can't see the front porch or I can't see the back porch anymore, then I need to come back. And that was always the rule. But whenever I was like in like the suburban neighborhood I grew up in, and like I was like riding my bike around stuff around 11 or 12 or so like that. I mean, we used to ride around like there everywhere. But things like as I started getting older, even I started noticing that like things were changing even back then. Like
Like violent? Think just more violent.
yeah,
Threats?
there were literally like violent kids and stuff like that, and like teenagers and stuff that would actually try to like run you off the road and stuff like that. Like I almost
What?
yeah, seriously. I mean, it's happened. It happened to me several times. That's the reason why I stopped. I stopped going out and bike riding a lot. Like people started like losing their impulse control when it came to things like that, and people have like a weird attitude towards children these days. They didn't
Well,
used to have. Children used to be
this is anecdotal, so I'm not convinced.
Yes,
that, like,
okay, that's fair enough.
But I am taking it. I mean, I'm taking it seriously. But there's got to be some way to verify, like, however you measure violence levels. If
I know,
if
maybe
there is
there's studies. Maybe I'll look and see there's studies that show if it's actually safer.
But
Or
for
less
whatever
safe
reason, whether it's actual or subjective, that there was this increased sense of threat at some point.
Yes.
Can I kind of answer your question about TV shows back then that are like why some of them, like the ones that are on now, or like some that were formerly on, are like dangerous? I think many shows are becoming too political, if you ask me. Like Arthur had a episode in, I think, 2017 or 2018 of a gay married couple, and then there's been so much of that in like kid shows, and now there's like talks about transgenderism and so much more, that it's just becoming like too political, if you ask me. And some of these shows are even indoctrinating kids with this kind of stuff, to where it's okay for a kid to transition from a boy to a girl as early as 6 years old. And I just think with what TV shows are doing nowadays, especially geared towards kids, is too like I guess you'd say early of that kind of stuff. It's fine if they want to talk about racism as Sesame Street done in years past and other forms, but bringing up like gender and a whole bunch of like other stuff that is too early for a child's development is just wrong, if you ask me.
Do you think it should be up to the parents?
Yeah, it shouldn't be in no like freaking TV show, and it should also be up to the kid as well. There.
Well, I mean, have the shows, but have it be up to the parents whether the kids watch them or not.
Well, yeah.
And I say,
I kind of think that stuff is
it's a
here to stay.
wonderful kind of day where we can
You're probably right.
learn to work and play and get along with each other.
And then I think Louie, if you guys heard of that Nick Jr. show, they've had a few like things in regards to like gay and lesbian marriage and more of that kind of stuff. My sister watches it, but I've never like actually seen it myself. But I only know about it because of articles that is read online. And so shows like Bluey, Arthur that had a gay couple in their previous seasons before they ended last year. And I'm trying to think of what shows that is like doing this kind of stuff there that is like geared towards kids. Trying to figure out.
I mean, honestly, I mean, I have no, I have, I mean, if they're gonna show straight marriages, I don't really see
children out at night.
I don't have a problem with a gay couple. I don't think that's.
I don't think there's any problem if they're
I
gonna
think
show
the
straight
sooner
couples,
kids see male couples, the better, because they're part of society now. But I don't think they need to go into great detail, and I don't know that gender issues would have meant anything to me as a kid.
They don't need to explain what needs to be straight either. They don't need to like kid shows don't have any reason to be approaching sexuality in any sense. I don't think. At least, I mean, like that should be something that should be up to parents. And of course, I know like parents don't want to do that kind of thing, but like I don't understand like why it's not.
I mean, some do. A lot of parents I know.
I mean,
my parents. My mom did not give a shit what we watched. We could watch where we want. She didn't care.
Right.
But some parents did, and so it just depends on the parents. My mom freaked out more about like what music I was listening to than anything else. She wanted to listen to devil music.
That's weird.
Look how you turned out, Jeff.
I know, huh?
And now you're wearing antlers all the time. Like, you know, look what happened, right? That's the reason why you listen to that devil music and it made you wear horns all the time.
It really did. Rock and roll had a huge, or rock, I guess, had a huge influence on my life. I would not be the person today without it.
Well, according to my Google search, the Google, every Google result I see is saying the exact opposite. Saying that that it's just as safe for children to play outside and they need to play outside more and all this stuff like that. So I'm kind of surprised by that, to be honest. But
well, some places I heard where it's even illegal for children to play alone, like in the park, without adults.
I don't see a single study or anything that says anything about like it being less safe. So I guess it's just like it's
hysteria.
I guess it's hysteria. But I mean, it's not
hyperventilating.
It's nothing I've listened to or I've heard that makes me feel that way. It's something I get like this feeling that it's like it's less safe for my kids, but I don't know where it comes from.
You're right, though.
I admit to being wrong, but
you're not wrong.
How do you know?
From raising my kids from when I was a kid.
So you see it as more dangerous too?
Yes. Especially the area I left, St.
Because
Louis
of the
area.
Violence. It still comes down to violence.
The violence, the drugs, the crime. It went.
But when I think of kids exploring, I think of them like going in parks and woods and neighborhoods and maybe
Well, if you live in like the
abandoned
city, like
houses.
where
I
I
don't
live,
think of them exploring where there's going to be drugs and
Well, there was a.
prostitution. And
That's where the park. That's where they hang
like
out. Is at the
the
park.
areas that we explored were not areas where there were violent. Like there was no people to be violent.
Yeah, in Texarkana, like out where my parents live right now, I have no issue with you know any of my kids being outside or anything. Like they're out in the country. There's no issue with that out there. But it's where I live right now here in Irving. Now, I mean, except for like right in front of like the apartment or something like that, like on the sidewalks and stuff out here, I certainly wouldn't. I would not trust that. I would not want them to be riding their bikes to the parking lot here because people freaking drive like maniacs. Despite the fact we have massive speed bumps in this parking lot, people.
All right,
like,
but that's
drive
that
like
one.
maniacs.
That's not like a trend in society. That's just that one parking lot it's dangerous because of the way the cars are there. But that's not an indication of anything in society, larger society.
Sure, I mean, you're right. That's one parking lot that I have experience with, and it's not experience with all parking lots. You're absolutely right.
So, Jeff, what do you feel about like metropolitan areas, cities where kids don't have forest parks and stuff to explore? They just have buildings,
apartment complexes,
and
concrete
alleyways.
jungle.
Yeah, and people.
Well, we explored stuff like that too because my dad. We lived in more or less in the country, but my dad lived in a small city. So when we visited him, we were in a city environment, and we had different rules. Like we had to ask permission to go more than a few blocks, et cetera, et cetera. Even then, I never understood why. I'm like, what do they think is going to happen to us? Or are they worried about us? Like we're the threat. Like they don't want us too far from home because we're going to cause trouble. I never understood their concern. But in a city, like I lived in Seattle for a while, and there's all kind of things that I would have explored as a kid in a city on my own. And there are parks in cities, and so I think there's still place. If you teach kids basic stranger danger and safety and how to take care of themselves,
yeah,
we were perfectly capable of exploring on our own. So I don't know why modern kids wouldn't be.
The nearest park to like where I live right now is far enough where like I wouldn't want my kids to go that far away. Like it would be it's probably a mile and a half, and it's pretty far. I mean it's a 5-minute car drive. So I mean I don't know if I'd want them going that far, but maybe so. I don't know. I you know like it's been a kind of weird situation with my kids because like I mean I've either raised them in Texarkana out in the country there, and now with Juniper, you know, she's not even old enough to be at that point yet. So I haven't really had to deal with that. I had Clover when she was at that age. We were out in the country, and she used to play outside all the time, and I never had a single issue with it. The only danger we had out there was like possible snakes and stuff like that, like out in the grass, you know. And man, that stuff like you do teach them to like look out for. Thankfully, we had a donkey out there that used to keep the snakes pretty far away, so we didn't have to worry about that too much. And my parents had a couple horses and they had snakes and a donkey too that used to keep the snakes away. So yeah, I didn't have to worry about that. But now with Juniper, you know, I look around. That's one of the reasons, like, you know, trying to move from this place because like I don't want to have to, as she gets older and wants to like play outside. So I don't want to have to raise her in a place where I would have to fear for her safety just playing outside. You know, we have this our neighbors, our direct neighbors to us. There's this really nice couple that live right next to us, and like we've talked about this right ourselves, like that we've talked about, like, you know, like how safe it is for like because like their kids like always want to play outside. She's like, and the mom was like, yeah, I just don't. I don't know why, but I just I don't mind them playing right here on the sidewalk and stuff like that. But like if they go out past the sidewalk, you know, like I get onto them and stuff like that. They get really.
What's your worry that they're gonna get snatched or
that's possible. I mean, it certainly
drugs?
it feels like it feels like the culture of today is more open to doing that kind of horrific shit than it used to be. It doesn't seem like
I have nothing to go off of, but I don't hear. It doesn't seem like I hear a lot of stories of kids getting snatched off the street. Like growing up in the 70s and 80s, there was the rape me vans, and you were supposed to watch out for if a van didn't have windows or if they were like circling your block and driving down the street too frequently. You're supposed to like watch out for stuff like that, but That never happened. Like even with the warnings, that never happened. We never actually saw those situations. So I don't know. I don't hear about this mass. It's kind of like trans suicide. This fear of if we don't give them all these chemicals, they're gonna be this wave of mass suicides. And I didn't see it happening before. I don't see it happening now. I don't see this mass wave of child nappings when I grew up. I don't see it happening now. But I don't know. I haven't looked at numbers, so this is just my impression is just as subjective as yours.
I just did try to look up the numbers, and apparently the numbers have not changed much. So it's really not. There really.
So there's something about media, probably social media, that's making us feel.
I guess, and I don't.
Like we're living in a more dangerous time and place than we actually are, and I see that on these streams where social media feeds people's fear and paranoia.
The amount of young kids out there doing drugs is crazy.
I mean, I will say this: I would feel safer. I would feel safer if my kids playing outside.
Marijuana.
All the way
because they're legalizing it everywhere. That doesn't make me feel like there's less risk. I mean,
I will say this: I feel more safe with my kids playing outside, even really far away at the faraway park or something like that, than I do with them going to a public school. I will say that the public schools right now. I mean, like just the environments there, all the stuff like that. I mean, like all the propaganda that gets pushed on kids and everything these days, like at the
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel.
But that's
safer.
not the kind of danger we've been talking about, like violence.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm just saying that I do feel safe whenever I put it in perspective. I was just
because I don't want my kids in that. I wouldn't probably have them in schools if that's what they're teaching either.
Yeah, that's all. That was one of my. I was just putting it in perspective for myself. I was saying that when I really think about it, though, what the thing I think that's much more dangerous is probably with the public schools where they're supposed to be safer, because they're supposed to be protected or whatever. And I think they're much more in danger there in an intellectual sense and being like corrupted into thinking all sorts of weird.
But again, that's something that you as a parent, I think, should have control over at home. Like, so whatever they're being taught in school, when they come home, you just tell them.
Right, which is what, but I and we made the choice of homeschool, like, so it's not a big deal.
I hate to be like devil's advocate, but it also seems like there's a lot more bad parents out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that would trickle down to having kids have more accidents and mistakes because they're not taught the right way.
What's bad parent to you? Because that's subjective too. Like everyone has different opinions about what good parenting is. So when you say bad parents, in what sense?
White
not
ones,
teaching your kids the birds and the bees and how to take care of things. Like I didn't know how to shoot a gun until I was 16 or 17. Some kids know how to do that when they're 5.
Oh yeah, I
didn't know about
that. Is an issue, and like lack of fathers in homes, lack of quality mentors.
I learned about stranger danger from school. My dad didn't teach me that. I learned that from movies in school.
Same.
Yeah. So like I had a bad parent, and I'm lucky where I'm at today, or I would have been in a gang.
And you think there's more of that?
Yes.
Kind of neglectful, or
I think there's a huge lower class of people who just aren't educated that well, or just don't.
Can I add something earlier of what Chris had talked about when I showed my plush here?
Sure.
So Chris, you said about like Dora and Little Einsteins. The one thing that I did not like about Dora all that much growing up, I did grow up with Blue's Clues, Little Bear in the Big Blue House, and Roly Poly Oly, and PB&J Otter. But one thing that I did not like much about Dora was how much interactiveness that there was, like how she'd tell you to help wind up the fishing pole or help paddle a boat, and so much beyond than just the what place is next on the map, or singing along with the places that she and Boots would go to, like mountain, lava, big hill, mountain, lava, big hill, and then go in that musical format. I just never enjoyed like that much kind of interactive of a kids show that was within Dora.
Sure, I understand that. But Clover when she was a kid, she absolutely hated the map it was so funny. She didn't like Dora because she hated the map, and she would complain about it, like, and when she was like 4 and 5, she'd be like, I hate the map, I hate that song, and like she'd complain about it, like she'd like I want to shoot the map, you know. It was like,
Oh my
Hey,
god.
like, the
I
map
guess
song
the
was
reason
like
why some of the shows I mentioned had very little to no interactness, including Little Einsteins, because they wouldn't go into like the path as Dora was like, and I just had always preferred a TV kid show to have little to no interactiveness there for the storyline.
I raised Clover and now Juniper. Like one of the main things I used to show them was Muppet Babies, and it was a huge influence on me when I was growing up. So I always put Muppet Babies on for them because I think it's a bizarre show. It really is weird if you think about it at all, but it's focused on like imagination and like and the way it kind of teaches kids. It kind of teaches kids media literacy actually. It's really a really smart because like I learned a lot of like how I understand references and I understand like humor and references and stuff like that because of like growing up with Muppet Babies. It's really I like watching it with my kids. I came to realize it was like, damn, this show taught me how to understand like a reference to something. Yeah, this is how I learned that. I learned, and this is actually a big part of like me having a writer's brain or whatever you can call it. Like a big part of my like encouraging imagination and
Yeah.
and coming up with things like on your own, like coming up with games and stuff like that. Like that was my baby's a big part of that. And I'd recommend any kid. You can find them all. They're all on YouTube, and so you don't even have to like go pirate them or anything. You can just like put YouTube Muppet. It's got the whole Muppet Baby series like on there. They're old VHS recordings from CBS that have never been officially released, but they're still great and like it is a really bizarre show though. As an adult watching it, you're like watching it and you're thinking like, what the hell is going on here? This shit, like, who, like, why are these kids in this nursery? Who is Nanny? Like, why does she watch over all these like half animal half human hybrid things? Like, what is going on here? But for kids it's a great show because kids don't care about any of that stuff.
right.
Like
It's called suspension of disbelief.
yeah, exactly. That's just
It
me
would
as a
not
cynical
hurt
adult.
some of you to pick that up.
That's just me as a cynical adult, like looking at me, just being like, "Damn, this show is weird, man. This show is so
I
weird."
guess what made me like the other like shows is because like PB&J Otter, for example, is it helped you use your noodle or your brain to figure out like situations or problems. And Bear in the Big Blue House had always had some form of like cool catching kind of song related to the topic of the show, whether it be about bath time or whether it be about friendships or shapes. And so I always found interest of like what it would be about in the song, especially the one at the end where he'd sing the goodbye song with Luna the Moon. It's just with all the shows I grew up watching, it just Dora really never got my attention, and it just was like beyond than what I was used to.
Oh, when me
Sure.
and my brothers were kids, there was a show on ABC called Dinosaurs. There was no
I
singing on
love
the show.
dinosaurs with
Yeah,
Dinosaur
Dinosaur's a
Baby.
great show. I love that show.
We
And
used to watch it on acid.
I
it
do.
was really
He's watching
hard and
acid.
working and all that.
I do remember the show or like Muppet Babies auntie was our orphans. Sorry for like trying to like sorry for the way that was, guys.
Does Gonzo really talk about it a lot? Because I've been watching the Muppet Babies episodes with my kid, and I've not once seen any reference to any of them being orphans or anything directly. But
Oh,
I mean, I guess it's implied. I think it's probably more implied that they're bizarre government experiments, but and
every
Nanny is a
time.
Nanny is a government agent that is sit there and watch them. She's kind of a terrible nanny too. She doesn't even like watch them. She just sits in her room, watches TV the whole time. They're just like in the nursery, just like doing whatever, you know, until snack time comes along. She goes along and feeds them. No, I love Muppet Babies. I'm actually not talking shit about it. I love it. The other I liked Yo Gabba Gabba whenever Clover was little too. I thought Yo Gabba Gabba was a really creative, really inventive show that and I also I happened to I was already friends. I was already not friends. I was already fans of the Aquabats. The ska band. They're kind of a goofy ska band, and they're the main people that were all behind Yo Gabba Gabba. And so like whenever I found out that
I
connection, it was
hated
super
that
cooler.
show.
I liked it.
I think when Yoga Gabba Gabba came out is Nickelodeon's way of trying to compete with the Wiggles, which was on Playhouse Disney.
I thought that he was a Smurf Melmacian. Look at the comment on left.
Melmacian, you mean like an elf?
Elf.
Excuse me.
I thought that Gonzo.
Well, maybe that's the
Oh, my
answer. Create
son.
better children's shows to improve this next generation. More Schoolhouse Rock.
I mean,
More
I would
puppet, better
I
puppets.
totally. That's I mean that is something that I would definitely be interested in doing if I had.
Our
the
parents could
resources.
just raise their kids.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we're still like kids are always gonna be interested in cartoons and stuff like that. Like it doesn't even if you've got parents that are very.
I hated cartoons. I thought they were so stupid.
Well, a lot of kids do.
Luis Marin turned into Gonzo. He was on Tatooine. Any of you know who I'm talking about?
Who? Gonzo? He was a Muppet, right? A blue bird with a beak nose. I don't know how I know that. We didn't have the Muppets.
Played a Gonzo. He was on Tatooine when Anakin was a kid.
What?
Think about it.
Wait, I thought he was Muppet.
You're saying you're comparing him to Quado. To Quado, you're talking about Quado because they both have the hooked nose thing. Yeah, I think you're reaching a little bit there because Quado could fly for one thing, and Gonzo has no wings. So
I know.
I'll be the person they'll take your pop culture question seriously, and I'll be like, no, he could fly, Gonzo couldn't, so like they're not the same. But I mean, Jim Henson's Creature Shop did create all the Star Wars. It did create all the Star Wars aliens, just like he created the Muppets. So they are both they are very much part of the same lineage. Jim Henson was a true genius. He really was.
Yeah, he was.
And he was so involved with and cared so much about all of the
the
things
Dark
he worked on.
Crystal.
Yeah, like
we didn't have Sesame Street growing up. We didn't catch PBS, so I didn't get all that until I was a teenager, and it had no meaning to me.
I know. I grew up on Sesame Street
for when it
sure.
first came out in the 1940s. No, wait, I got that one wrong. 1950s.
Yeah. Yeah, the original like Rolf the dog. I think Rolf the dog might be the oldest Muppet, and he used to do ads for cigarettes, back in the black and white early days of TV and stuff like that. Like the Muppets were not created for children. They were actually created as adult. They did this adult.
What?
Yes, you can look this up. You can look up. There's like old black and white.
I'm not doubting you. I'm trying to understand why it would be created for adults. I think my problem with children's shows is it teaches down to me. It tries to talk to this little cutesy child part of my brain, and I'd rather it would just talk to me as a person, as an adult. And so I always found that, like, why are they trying to teach me this way when they can just teach me the thing like regular people? And so,
I mean, that's
children's shows always threw me. They seemed like patronizing or condescending to me. I feel the same way when I watch a Sam Harris video. Like he's teaching down to me.
I can see that level with Sesame Street, but like Fraggle Rock and Muppet Babies and stuff, like I don't think they talk down to kids at all. I
I
think
didn't
they
have it.
actually
I didn't have all that. I'm just talking about children's shows in general, not even
No, I
specifically.
agree with you. I completely agree. Like, I mean, you talk about like Teletubbies and like Barney and shit like that. Like that
all
stuff
of them
is
in it. We had Captain Kangaroo,
that
and
stuff
that's all
annoys
we
the
had.
crap out of me.
Well, I was actually gonna say
I
outside
like
of
Captain Kangaroo when I was a kid. I
and
hated
some
both
of the most
Teletubbies.
popular PBS kids
Wait,
shows.
hang
the
on.
one
Hang
show-
on. There's too many people talking. I can't hear.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Andrew. Go ahead. And
I like
Andrew,
Captain
you got it. Go ahead.
Kangaroo when I was a kid. My dad watched Captain Kangaroo, and I got into that when it was still doing premieres on television.
Yeah, that's all we had.
hate
And it was so normal as a
Barney,
kid and so fucking weird
and I
looking back as an
hate
adult.
Teletubbies.
I hate them too. I can't stand it, especially that Baby in the Sun. That's one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. And their little voice thing, how they talk to each other. It's like fingernails on a chalkboard.
There's nothing. I mean, can you imagine anything more terrifying than waking up and seeing a Teletubby standing over you? Like just like not even with anything threatening, just a Teletubby just standing. If you wake up in the
I
night,
hate that they strike up a very aggressive reaction.
It is yes, yes, exactly.
Fatty, what's the news? Come on and tell us.
But what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Fatty, come up. We could use an adult in the room. We could use some adult conversation.
What, we can't talk about kid shows. What? We're not adults. Don't talk about kid shows now. What's up for that? Just kidding.
My signal keeps.
What's your guys' opinion about South Park?
I have loved South Park for many years, and I still love it. I still think Matt Parker and Trey Parker and Matt Stone are still doing whatever the fuck they want with that show, and I think even whenever it doesn't work, I still respect them for doing it.
Those puppets were cool. Mr. Rogers' puppet. Make Believe Land.
I hate.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers. Make Believe Land was creepy as fuck.
Like the theatrics.
Fuck some King Friday, man. That guy can go to hell.
By the way,
oh wow. Okay. Does that mean Fatty? Does that mean twins?
Oh, you got twins coming? You got twin grades?
Wow.
That's awesome, dude.
Well,
congratulations, dude. Really, that's really great to hear.
Congratulations.
Please
you didn't
say
have
what I was gonna do here, Jeff, please?
Yes, please, go ahead.
What?
What I was gonna say, and sorry if we were all talking at the same time, Jeff. But what I was gonna say, outside of Nick and the Disney, I actually also grew up with a lot of PBS Kids shows, but some of the more like ones that I grew up was PBS Kids Bookworm Bunch with shows like George Shrinks and Seven Little Monsters.
Yeah, I watched a lot of PBS shows.
That was a fun show.
Growing up too, I would skip school and stay home and watch the educational programming on PBS, which to me they should have been showing us at school. It was way better than what they would try to teach us.
It was more like the convenience of waking up in the morning, getting ready for school, and then coming back home, and then kapoof, PBS Kids would still be on the air till about 5:00 p.m. in the evening.
That was smart. They put it on after school hours for me. They played it during school hours because it was intended for the schools to kind of use it in their classroom, and the only way to see it was to watch it during school days. So I would stay home from school to watch the PBS stuff.
Well, Angela, are you old enough? Are you old enough to remember like Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego the show?
Yep,
that show was dope.
Old enough. The same thing for Wishbone, The Puzzle Place, Keto's Story Time, and many others.
Yeah, that theme song for Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego still slaps to this day, doesn't it? I mean, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Also fun to watch.
Was the Yellow School Bus a PBS show?
A Magic School Bus. Yeah, I think it was.
Was that Miss Frizzle?
It was based on
what's her name?
books,
Frizzle?
Yeah, it's Miss Frizzle.
Miss Frizzle.
Misfits.
I don't know how I did.
Someone's backhand.
It was a little after my time as a kid. They started doing that show whenever my sister was still pretty young. My sisters were still pretty young, but I was already a teenager by the time that they started doing that as a cartoon. But there was Magic School Bus books before that. I remember seeing the books whenever I was a kid, but the cartoon didn't come around until I was already kind of too old for it. But I think Robot Chickens does some really funny sketches about Magic School Bus, though.
Congratulations on both of your daughters being pregnant, if that's what I'm guessing.
So
That's
The Simpsons
amazing,
a
dude.
family show or kid show?
What
What's that?
Is what?
The Simpsons.
The Simpsons was a show for adults. Right? It was just Simpsons is straight up just an adult cartoon. It was a animated sitcom.
Yeah, because I enjoyed it as a kid, but I didn't really relate to it. I just enjoyed the cartoon. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, was that really a kid show?
No, I was not. I mean, it's still not a kid show.
When
I mean,
did the
it's
Simpsons
not a good
start?
show anymore, but I mean,
and
honestly, I'll my hot take. There are a couple of good seasons of Simpsons, and there's some good episodes in there. But honestly, I think Simpsons is highly overrated myself. I actually prefer Futurama to Simpsons by far. I don't understand like the obsession with Simpsons that some people have. Like some people on the internet are obsessed with like the Simpsons and Seinfeld and Friends and stuff like that. I'm like, these are like the worst of the shows I remember growing up. Like these are not highlights of television by any means. They were the most popular ones maybe, but they were not great shows. I don't think so.
Be great. They had to bring an audience.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm assuming, but like Zoomers are like obsessed with these shows now, and I think it's weird that they're obsessing about Simpsons and Seinfeld and Friends, and like I'm just like and sometimes The Office still. And I just think it's weird that those shows.
Zoomers are that's the shows they're obsessed with.
Yeah, like even my daughter is somewhat It's more my youngest sister Caroline, which she's like 24 now, but she's like she's super into like Friends and The Office and stuff like that, and I'm just like I just think it's weird because like whenever those shows were on the air, like she was like a child, so. And I just think it's weird that they the kids in the generation have retroactively gotten back into those shows. I don't see they didn't appeal to me when they were new, and I don't understand why they're so appealing to the kids of that generation.
What do you ask her? What does she say?
She just like, I don't know, I just like them. She doesn't really have much. She's kind of a she's probably the most neurotypical of ever my family. So. Doogie Howser was awesome. I used to use the Doogie Howser theme song as my ringtone.
Oh my gosh! And I just mentioned How I Met Your Mother.
Now, How I Met Your Mother was a great show, and it's early on in its run. The first few seasons of How I Met Your Mother was good. Friends is shit though.
Friends was okay. I didn't watch it regularly.
Seinfeld
was okay.
Russ.
But I didn't watch. There wasn't many sitcoms that I watched weekly regularly.
Or whatever her name was.
News Radio was the shit. I still love News Radio. I love and Seinfeld. I thought maybe I went back and watched some Seinfeld because I thought maybe it's one of those things I just didn't get it because I was too young, and I've seen those episodes like in reruns now, and I'm like. I still just don't think it's that funny. It's just not that funny to me. I think that
I think it's funny. I definitely get the humor, but they had a pattern to it. Like if you've seen one episode, you kind of seen them all.
Yeah,
but that's kind of true of a lot of sitcoms. At least the
that is true. Ones. Yeah, that is true of a lot of sitcoms. I mean,
formulaic.
But I mean, Seinfeld's never once ever made me laugh out loud though. I've never actually laughed out loud at Seinfeld. I don't think it's that terribly funny. I think some of the ideas
it's
are
the
funny.
Character. It's the characters, the Elaine and Jerry and what's his name, Kramer and all. It's just the character. It's not any specific one thing that happens or doesn't happen. It's just you.
Yes,
tune in to
see
what
Joe
that
Rogan,
cast
Joe Rogan was
do
actually funny on
week.
News Radio. That's how I knew about Joe Rogan in the first place. Married with Children, Married with Children was the shit. I like that. I didn't get into that till it was way
Angel.
until it
Angel. I didn't see it. What is it?
You know that.
Oh, I
never
loved
liked Roseanne.
Roseanne. I was a big Roseanne.
I never liked Roseanne.
I never really got Married with Children. It never made me laugh much. It seemed contrived, like badly acted.
Really, Jeff? It never got you to laugh.
No. I could see the jokes because the jokes weren't funny. You could see them coming a mile away. The acting was cartoonish. It kind of it. I didn't get married with. There's something about.
I still watch Kids in the Hall.
It seemed like they were trying to pull off a credible
Man, going
family.
into
There was something
and then back
unreal about it.
in the mall.
Yeah,
My signal is crashing.
I have seen clips from Married with Children that have made me laugh, but I have to say, like, I've never like watched the episodes all the way through and gotten all the engagement. I've seen clips like online that I thought were actually really funny, but like whenever it was on the air, like it never really. I was never into it. Kids in the Hall. I still watch Kids in the Hall reruns to this day. I've owned the whole series and I have them all ripped onto my Plex server. I watch Kids in the Hall all the time. I love Kids in the Hall. I love sketch comedy in general though.
This other series is not more so 90s or 80s, but it's something as a teenager I watched. Monk, anyone?
What is it?
Oh yeah, I liked Adrian Monk.
Oh, I remember Monk. Vaguely. I didn't watch him, but I remember when he came out.
Men in Black. I liked what others that he was on. I think he guest starred in other things. Angel, you look familiar. Were you ever once a celebrity or are you a lookalike to the young one on Modern Family?
No. If I look like him, no. I've never been on no TV show or movie. If I look like him,
No. I'm asking if you were a lookalike to someone on Modern Family because Ed O'Neill worked with someone that looks like
I've
you.
actually watched some of Modern Family when Ed O'Neill was on the show. I kind of did like it, but I just stopped watching as the series continued to grow later on, much like with every other series. Because I'm pretty sure like when Charlie Sheen had gotten fired and was removed from 2.5 Men. Everyone stopped watching that once Ashton Kutcher took over the lead role in that show, and which ended up becoming canceled. So I only tuned into the show for so long. And if they change things up in terms of getting rid of leading actors and actresses, then that kind of like what makes me tune out there. So I stopped watching as soon as Ed O'Neill no longer was on the show that much, and the same thing with Sofia Vergara.
Oh man. They must have been
Hell yeah, Anti-Dear's The State. The State was the shit. Love it.
I wonder Ed O'Neill went on strike to protest.
The state gave us Michael Ian Black. It gave us Michael Showalter. It gave us Stephen Colbert. I can't remember. I think Stephen.
What was the one with Bob Odenkirk in that game?
That was the Ben Stiller show.
Was it Stiller?
He might have been on. He might have been in the state too. He might have been in the state too. But you think of Mr. Show or the Ben Stiller show? He was both. He was on both those shows. So. Mr. Show with Bob and David, and
maybe let me see which one I'm thinking of.
Mr. Show is.
And then which one had Andy Dick on it? Was that Ben Stiller?
That's Ben Stiller. Yeah, that's a Ben Stiller show. There was Andy Dick, Jeanine Garofalo, Ben Stiller, and Bob Odenkirk primarily were the primary people on there.
How long was the Ben Stiller show on for?
One season, one and done.
That's why I'm not too familiar with it there. Then.
No, yeah, it was like a lot. There was a lot of Fox shows that kind of spawned like cult fan bases like that. There was also Charlie Kaufman got his start writing for Get a Life, which was his Chris Elliott sitcom that was on Fox that ran for 2 seasons. It's a really funny show too. Really bizarre, as you would imagine, like a sitcom that Charlie Kaufman wrote would be.
Yeah, the Andy Dick show was awesome, Auntie Dearest.
I forgot that the Andy Dick show happened, but now that you mention it, I do remember that. It was on MTV though, right? It was on MTV. It was kind of like almost like a prankish type show. Not really a prank show, but it was like the show itself was like a prank.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was like it didn't present itself as like a prank show.
It was Andy Dick.
Like a troll.
It was exactly like what a show
his
called the
personality
Andy Dick show
translated into a
would
TV show.
Yeah.
He was so good on news radio though. He was so good on news radio. I mean, he was really
talk about
funny.
troll.
Yeah, he turned into something else, man. He really did.
Oh, Jeff. Speaking of Andy Dick, different shows, just different shows. He's a really great guest star on, I don't know if any of y'all watched it before, but Just Shoot Me with David Spade. And
yeah, I saw that
Devin.
show. I didn't watch it a lot, but it was okay. I remember thinking it was an alright show.
It was always funny when he went on that show. He guest starred a lot on The Office also over the years.
I like David Spade.
Danny Dick was on The Office?
I think he was on The Office. I'm not sure if it was The Office, but
I don't think so. I don't think
so. Charlie Sheen and
oh, you're thinking of two whatever, the two guys, like two guys and a 2.5 men. 2.5 Men. That show. I hated that show. Hated that show.
No, Charlie Sheen and Michael J. Fox, and it was Office.
Oh, right, Spin City. Yeah. I liked the show whenever it was Michael J. Fox. I did not like it when Charlie Sheen took over for him. I didn't really care for. I've never really been a huge Charlie Sheen fan, even though, you know, his whenever he went crazy and started talking about tiger power and everything, that was pretty entertaining.
That was before the days of live streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, Philip, it was good hanging out. Please drop by anytime. We're here.
Yeah,
every day.
I feel like we didn't get to let you talk much.
We did. We had a good conversation going about society and violent society, and then all the Spurs started talking about their TV shows and their cartoons, and it took over from there. Which is fine. There's room for that here too.
Oh,
you're right. I got swept up in the river.
Yeah, I know. I saw it coming. I could have stopped it, but I figured y'all needed time to do that. That's a lot of autistic people bond over their geeky hobbies. I think that's a good thing.
When I was a kid, Tailspin and
Tailspin, yeah, Tailspin was one of my.
Y'all, and the other thing is y'all. This is so out of my generation too. I don't know half the stuff y'all were talking about.
Yeah, you're just a few. Yeah, you're a few years behind for Tailspin. You didn't see DuckTales. I guess DuckTales was a little before. But
my brothers grew up with all that, but I didn't watch it. I didn't get it.
Darkwing Duck. Then Launchpad McQuack is on both that show, and he's the smart protagonist partner to Dark.
Why don't we create a cartoon based on the show? Do we have any animators here? We could have characters based on the different streamers.
I wish I knew people that could draw. I can't draw for shit.
Don't they have that like that software now where you just like it draws for it? You just kind of tell it.
Right, yeah, the AI stuff,
helps you come up with the animation.
You gotta pay out to ask for it though. Like like the little chart you.
Well, if we come up with a good storyline, maybe it'll be worth it. That could be some of our content.
Yeah, maybe so. I've looked at some of those sites that do the animation stuff, like the voice to or the text to animation stuff, and like to render 30 seconds of whatever, you got to like sign up for like however much it is, like for a year, and then you only get like 500 minutes like for the year to generate, and then so like you have like that doesn't not really give you, and like that includes like stuff that if it doesn't come out right, you have to regenerate it and you have to pull from your credits for that. So you end up like you're not going to end up getting a very good animated series, I don't think, out of it at this point.
Schoolhouse Rock and possibly Beavis and Butthead. I'd say those are the two.
What about Daria? Daria was the shit, huh?
I didn't like her at all. Like I was
Really? I love
supposed
Daria.
to because she represented my like lunch table. But she was too black pill for. I didn't. She was so much of a downer. I would not be able to be around her.
I mean, I kind of thought what
She was
was
too
unique about
cynical.
Daria. Well, I mean, Daria was a spinoff from Beavis and Butthead, but if you remember that at all, she was actually like she was like the weird girl at their school. But Daria's it was interesting because it actually has an arc to it. Like Daria actually does grow and change throughout the course of the series.
I didn't care enough in her personality to invest in her character arc at all.
Where the
She
shows
didn't pull
like
me
that.
in from the beginning. She's like Mary Poppins. I can't like if I hate the character, I'm not going to care about the story. What happens to her? Unless they're like sometimes there's a villain that's fun to hate, but they're not the main character.
I always liked Daria's friend better than Daria. I always liked her friend, the one that the paintings and stuff like that.
I've never actually seen Daria, believe it or not. I did grow up with Beavis and Butthead, but outside of that of MTV, never seen Daria.
Yeah.
And Liquid Television was mine too, but it wasn't like a series. It was a series of series. It was
like Aeon Flux and stuff
and
like
so,
that.
So yeah, Aeon Flux. That's where I first saw Aeon Flux. I and that was when it was
I loved Aeon Flux.
No, not dialogue. There was no dubbing.
Yeah, it was just
visual.
crazy animation stuff, and then they
and you had to figure out it was like NeuroJack's videos. You had to figure out the story from the images, and you never really knew what was going on.
They were intentionally unconnected. Like it acted like there was like a story that was ongoing, but there really wasn't. Like she dies at the end of tons of episodes. So
it wasn't an ongoing. It made it seem like
that, but even the creator said that there was never even intended to be like any kind of sense. It was supposed to be all but visual, and then they made that movie out of it that was just terrible. With
I didn't like the movie. The movie did not capture the experience of watching it.
Did not.
It was so with no dialogue.
She played. Wait, was that Gwen Stefani that played?
This is the animated version. They might have done a live version.
Okay.
We're talking about the animated.
Was it like after the original movie in 2004?
No, this is in the 90s.
Yeah, we're talking the original Aeon Flux from Liquid Television back in like the 90s. Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I know that there was a movie in 2004.
Yeah, it's Charlize Theron on it. It's terrible. Yeah.
I think
it was a very bad movie, and that's the reason why.
91 to 95. I didn't realize it had aired that long.
Wow, that's actually surprising for that show.
Series.
Surreal German expressionist style.
Wait, who said that?
Yeah, I see. I never thought about it like that, but I definitely see the German expressionistic influence in that. Now that you mentioned that from that, that's crazy. Like think of like the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, like the way the sets look and everything like that, like the perspective stuff. Yeah, that's I love that shit too. I love that crazy like those sets they used to build back in like the old days, like Metropolis and Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Oh yeah, I
like,
do too.
stuff.
I love it.
The sets weren't miniatures; they were massive. Like one of the craziest stories from early filmmaking is like the movie The Passion of Joan of Arc is a movie that's made almost entirely of close-ups. But whenever I can't remember the director's name, when Carl Dreyer made the movie, though, he insisted on creating this entire. He created one of the largest sets that's ever been created in Hollywood history. He recreated an entire French town. And that you never saw in the movie at all. It was never filmed. It was just to shoot it inside. That they replicated this whole French town just so the actors would feel like they were in the.
Why didn't they just go to the French town?
Because
that would be even more authentic.
It needed to be from one from the 1700s. So he replicated a 1700s French village.
Oh, a 1700s town.
And the dungeon and everything, but the movie is almost entirely. There's like 2 shots where you see the town in it at all, and the movie is almost entirely close-ups of faces. It's bizarre, and it's a silent film too. It's a silent film. It's entirely close up people's faces. It sounds like just the description that sounds like the most boring thing in the world. I swear, it's one of the most engrossing films I've ever watched. it's absolutely captivating, and it's just because it's almost all facial expressions, and then it cuts to like like the dialogue cards and stuff like that. It's like that kind of shit, but it's entirely engrossing to watch.
Oh man,
I'm sorry, I'm a film nerd.
Yeah,
Keith wants out.
And this is what's happening. Y'all mentioned
what is that?
Joan of Arc. There's
Yeah,
a
the Passion of Joan of
game that I play. It's called AFK Arena. It's been out for years.
I've heard of it before. It's one of those games that kind of plays in the background where you don't really have to do much to it.
Yeah, no, it's true. Okay.
Oh no, I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying that I'm just making sure that's the right game. Like that's the game I'm thinking of. Right?
It's my Joan of Arc.
That's cool shit, man.
Here. And I have her 5 stars are silver.
I don't know what that means, but that sounds cool.
Okay, so engravements. I have that right there. Okay. And she's tank, which means she takes battle damage and protects the rest of the team.
Sure.
But there's strategy to the game and other stuff.
Oh, I've gotten way into mobile games before. I played more than my share of whatever that mobile version of Puzzle Quest that came out was, and also Marvel Snap. I was into Marvel Snap but I'm actually thankful to starting streaming to get me away from my Marvel Snap addiction. It actually broke me of that because I was way too addicted to that game for too long. It was starting to like. I was starting to get emotional about it. Like I was getting to like that level of like I was getting upset about Marvel Snap, and like I was like, this is no good for me. This is bad. This is starting to feel like a drug addiction.
Sometimes myself. Okay, so
any video game that if I lose at it, I start feeling like genuinely angry about it. I have to walk away from that right now. Can't do it. That's bad for your mental health.
There's also
from the frustration, like of
yeah, no, seriously, I like with Marvel Snap, like I would get like I got into it to the degree where like I like sometimes I would lose a match and I would get like angry, like I'd want to like punch I never did, but I wanted to like punch a wall or something. I got so mad and I was like, this isn't healthy. I have to stop this. And
wait, what'd you get mad at?
At the game. Like I got mad because I lost. It's a PvP
game. Not from the frustration of like the controller and not being able to.
No. I got mad because
you couldn't figure out how to beat the game.
I could as a person.
My frustration is I can't work the controllers. That's where I want to throw it at the wall.
Oh, you don't have to. It's a phone game.
Too hard not to enjoy.
What? Because those brain. My ex used to make video games. Hang on, Andrew. Hang on. My ex used to make video games, and he told me that they hire entire teams of like scientists to research the human brain and how to make it the most addictive and how to keep your brain engaged for this exact amount of time, and then give it a pause for this amount, which will make it like reset it to go this amount. Like they study that in such detail, and they design those games built around
evil
brain
it's
model.
Evil, yeah, it really is.
Well, it's capital. There's nothing. It's no different than television or.
Well,
comic books or like pulp serials that people like waiting for the next little hit to come out, and it's just compressed. It's like all in one experience.
Whenever I watch a TV show that I might get mad at a TV show, but it's like a fun kind of mad. Like this was different. This was like I felt an actual rage in me that I don't feel towards.
Why? What?
I don't know, and that's why I stopped playing.
But what was the event? What about the game were you reacting to that triggered that?
Nothing. I mean, seriously, it was just like I
describe the scene like you were doing something in the game when this happened. Is what I'm saying.
I don't even remember anything about the match. I just remember losing and getting so mad that I was just like I was so angry, and it was like anger, and it was like an anger that I never. it was like an anger, like honestly, I'd never felt before, and like I was so angry about it, and I was like, I put the game down, I uninstalled it from my phone. I was like, I'm
Well, that's
done.
probably good.
I can't do this anymore.
Hey, it's probably good that you put it down.
Yeah, no, it was very. It was at that point that I realized this was bad for my mental health, and it was actually like 2 days later that I tuned into PF Young's string that day, and I talked to you. If I had not,
Oh, that's
if I had
how
not
you
gotten
ended up
angry.
in.
Yeah, if I had not gotten angry at Marvel Snap, I probably would have been playing Marvel Snap instead
That's
of
what
being
led you
on
to
it.
the panel verse.
Yes, that's what led me to the panel verse. Was getting mad at Marvel Snap. Seriously.
Oh fuck.
Those, Chris,
Yeah.
those images have a subliminal inside of them that our eyes are catching on. And what it does is
They're
it
like slot
draws
machines in
people
Vegas.
in. Jeff has got the game in the bag with that one.
Oh yeah.
A lot of
No,
people
yeah.
play games because of them slot mechanics.
No, they do. They do.
And they
Like,
try
especially
to
gotcha game. Especially they call it the gotcha games, like the ones where you get like this mystery box and stuff like that. Yeah, those games are built on gambling mechanics. Absolutely.
Dude, if you're
They're shown to be
talking about
just as addictive as
gotcha
gambling
and
too.
hentai and Mo Rashi or whatever the stuff, that's adult content. Just remember that.
Yeah.
I'll call it adult
Yeah.
content.
Yeah, Dennis, and I absolutely, I definitely know that it's absolutely true that they do make especially mobile games are definitely built to cheat, to keep you engaged, piss you off. Yeah, that's what they're made to do. That it really is. It keeps. See, actually, Twitter is built around the same thing, I think, as well. So. Charlie Booker, this comedian in England, he did this really great. He did this special in the UK once. He did the top 100 video games of all time, and the whole thing was really like just a setup for like one big joke at the end, because number one was Twitter. He named Twitter as the greatest video game of all time. I think
Twitter's not a video game.
Yeah, but it is the way people use it. People use it like it's a video game. They use
What
it.
do
They
you
use it the
how
same
wait
way.
what
Oh, if they're doing a Twitch stream with the Twitter,
I used to be
like
Twitter
yes.
Twitterer.
I know,
what does that
you know,
mean?
people like compete to hit the most followers, to get the most views, the most, like they say the most inflammatory things. It's like this,
like the
it's a game to, like,
gamification, but a lot of
yeah,
life has become gamified because of video
yeah,
games. But
yeah.
that I don't think Twitter is particularly egregious in that regard. Like just wanting to get your followers up or get a certain amount of likes.
I think
really treating it like a video game compared to some of the other things out there that are gamified to a way more degree.
Maybe so. I don't know. I feel like Twitter is
none of the people I know treat it like a video game. We treat it like this. We interacted, we talked, we shared video. Nobody was really like
healthy people do. Healthy people do. Yeah. I never use Twitter much at all. I never use it like that, certainly. But I know that I've seen the people that do.
I mean, you could say this, like Hank treats the Panelverse like a video game.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And there are a lot of people that treat the YouTube like a video game as well, or Twitch or whatever it is. They see their subscriber counts, their view counts. They see it as like it's a big score competition. So
Yeah,
get the
I treat it as the tragic comedy that it is.
Yeah, that's the right attitude.
Transparency and get.
Does anyone else smell burnt toast?
That way. Go fund for people that are less fortunate and.
Are you actually? Fatty? Are you actually just asking what kind of eggs we like? Or are you saying that?
Are you trying to like
say their brains are scrambled like that?
Meaning and Fatty.
People should help more in everyday life than to be stuck with.
Here, I'm gonna let you end on that. That can be your wrap up. Wrap up for us, Andy. You have any final words of wisdom?
So, like, I'm playing this game right now, and I play it just to enjoy it because I don't have to do much of anything. Come on, what are you doing? Oh, hold on. Let me get that for a moment. I will click that button. And nope, not that. Okay, so on the game that I'm playing, there are these objectives every day. Hold on, let me move that over to the ones on the bottom. There are those ones on this game here, AFK Arena, and you don't have to do anything to progress. There's this right down here. And AFK, does anybody remember what AFK actually stands for?
Yeah, I
No
know.
fucking clue.
It means away from the keyboard.
I'm walking away. There's my keyboard. It's on the computer.
Oh, AFK. I thought it was a game. Yeah, away from keyboard.
It's away from keyboard. And when you're playing games on the computer or you're doing something and you're just having it on autopilot, a lot of games are doing autopilot, are doing idle to progress, and you can stay on the game for hours. There's another game that I play called Raid Shadow Legends, for instance, and it has, while you're on the platform of that game, it has like 7 bars across. If you stay on for longer, then you don't have to do much of anything. You can put it on idle or autopilot, going on to dungeons or campaign and anything else. They have different legendaries, uncommons, rare and epics characters.
Well, that's good. That's good information to know.
And
If you're
just
into
go
games.
on to those things. They have promo codes all the time. Different games having promo codes. And just sit back and relax. I like sitting back and relax and talking with y'all and everyone else.
So you play your game while you talk? Like while you're talking with us, you're
mean,
playing your game?
I'm not playing the game right now. I'm just with my phone on my lap right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Is there anything you want to close with? Any final thought or final word? We're gonna wind it down.
Oh.
Nope.
I guess I'll start with it. Nice to see y'all again. Take care, and I'll catch y'all again on the flip side.
Okay. Take care, Andrew.
All right. Have a good one, Andrew.
Have a good night.
And good night to you, Angel, and everybody else that was on the panel earlier. So.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Wow, 3.5 hours. That's
I didn't realize it gone. I initially didn't. I was initially gonna like pop on and be like and just say hi, and then I was gonna go to bed, and then I.
Well, I'm glad you stayed.
I just never.
And we'll be here tomorrow doing our thing.
Yep. Yeah, as usual.
Have a good rest of your night. I think
I'll be on time.
You might still be going. There might be some more panels out in the streets to drift to. Yeah, Machine. Here, I'll put Machine's link.
How's Machine streaming right now?
Yeah, so if y'all looking for another stream, here's TML's. And we will be here in a few hours tomorrow to continue the madness and the fun.
Sunday
All right.
madness. Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday madness. Well, tonight's late night lunacy. Sunday, I'll think of something. Monday madness. Yeah, we could do one each day. Yeah, I'm going Moose. Definitely.
Sunday sadness.
You read me very well.
Instead of Monday madness, it's Sunday sadness.
Okay, take care, everyone. Pleasant rest.
All right, good night.
And
all right, good night.
See you tomorrow. It takes forever for that music to start. That should not be. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Moose, good seeing you now. See you tomorrow. All right, take care. Bye.